because he is that workhorse.
Little drops back, looks over the middle, and he's got his man, Nico Ragas, makes a man miss. 15, 10, 5, and he will post green grass into the end zone.
His teammate will give it to Anthony Giomi. Got 4 on the clock. Giomi will pull up from 3. It's good! Big shot! Anthony Giomi!
As the sun begins to set here on Wilson Field in Orange County, the football team is getting ready on both ends. The fans are starting to funnel in as we should get ready for a great evening of football here. I'm Alejandro Flores, here with my partner, Stephen Hogenkamp. How are you doing tonight, Stephen?
Well, Alejandro, this weather is perfect. I just have to say that. And so I'm feeling great because weather, it's a key, especially in the game of football. Guys running at each other, hitting each other hard, playing on a turf field. It's going to be a big factor in tonight's game, but two teams, it's going to be a great battle tonight. Final non-conference game of the season for both teams. Let's see what kind of adjustments they make as they head into the conference season next year. Big matchup tonight, though.
Yes, definitely. And this isn't the only SCIAC game going on here tonight. We have about 2 others going on currently, as well as we'll look ahead into games that are happening next week. So we have Panoma versus Whittier happening at 7, Claremont versus Redlands, and then we have Verne versus Chapman, which is what you're tuned in here for right now to watch. Now, as we look ahead into next week, we have Panoma versus Chapman. That is a homecoming game for Chapman, so a big game there. And we also have Cal Lutheran versus Whittier on the 1st of October.
And I really want to highlight that homecoming game. Like you said, here at Chapman, we produce such an amazing homecoming show. Always an electric atmosphere, so make sure next week to come here for that matchup. But talking about tonight's matchup, got 2 teams that are very familiar with each other. And if we look at the Panthers so far this season, got off to a really hot start, winners of their first 2 games, but are now coming off their first loss of the season last week in Oregon against George Fox. And a loss this early in the season, what you want to see from your team, how they want to respond is saying, okay, we're not immortals. We're not going to win every game. How do we respond and make those adjustments to become that good team that we know we are and reach that peak at the right part of the season? And if you look over for the Laverne Leopards, they're off to a very slow start this season. Losers of their first 2 games, including a 41-0 shutout last weekend. As you see right here, it's been the offense for them that they haven't gotten going. Only 7 points per game. They're averaging 115 yards a game, whereas Chapman, their offense has been their strong part. Over 40 points a game and 400 yards in the air on the ground. So that's the key for our Chapman, getting that offense rolling early.
Definitely, definitely. And when you have a struggling defense like Chapman going against a struggling offense like Laverne, it does create an interesting matchup. Now we're going to go down to the sideline to Isabella Capri, who is going to give us a little bit more insight on what to expect for tonight's game. Isabella?
Good evening, everyone. I am Isabella Capri, your sideline reporter tonight. I am live here on Wilson Field. The energy is electric. The Panthers are about to come out. They are hoping to bring back the momentum after last week's loss to George Fox. On the other hand, we have the Laverne Leopards. They are hoping to come out tonight and get their first win of the season. Looking at these 2 teams, they have history with each other. They've played each other multiple times in past seasons, so they are both aware of what works and what doesn't work, both offensively and defensively. Tonight's game is going to be amazing, and I can't wait. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Isabella. Now, as she mentioned, 2 teams with history, but also 2 teams that are coming off of tough losses, trying to find momentum and get back into rhythm. Now, who are some key players from this game on both sides that you think could make a difference in this game?
Well, Alejandro, I got 3 players that Laverne's going to look for to make a big impact on the field. Number 1, it's going to be their running back, Kyle Bandy. Now, Bandy has scored the only touchdowns of the season for Laverne, so look for him to get a heavy dose of the run game tonight. And also, on the offensive side, through the air, they're going to look for their wide receiver, number 1, Spencer Poole. 99 receiving yards on the season. Not too many, but like we said, that offense still trying to find its groove. So look for him to try to beat his cornerbacks and get those big receptions for big yards. And then when we switch over to the defensive side, it's going to be their captain on the defense, safety J.J. Ryder. Now, J.J., team leader in tackles with 16. 1.5 tackles for loss. So he's going to be that captain on the defensive side. He's going to play in the nickel formation as the nickelback, trying to deceive the Chapman quarterback, Nathaniel Espinoza. So look for him when he's on the field to make a big impact.
Definitely. And speaking of disruptors on the defensive end, if you switch it to the Chapman side, a name that has to come to mind is Alex Tariquez, number 45, the middle linebacker for the Chapman Panthers. He is the team leader in tackles with 30 tackles in 3 games. That's 10 tackles per game. He also has a sack and 3 tackles for a loss. So a huge difference maker on that Chapman defense, and it's going to be a huge part of disrupting that run game, covering up those A and B gaps, being able to blitz from the inside, and making Laverne have to pin their ears back and focus more on the passing game. Now, if we switch it to the offensive side, you have to mention Tanner Mendoza, the running back for the Chapman Panthers. And this is an offense that relies heavily on its run game. You know, it's 2 running back formation sets, read options. It wants to establish the run game and then play action off of it. So Tanner Mendoza is going to be a huge part of that. 141 yards rushing to start the season and 4 touchdowns to start it as well. And just something to mention, when inside the red zone, Chapman does like to run the football, so something to look out for there. Now, as we switch it back to the defensive side, again, Joshua Williams, the D tackle for the Chapman Panthers, number 68. He has 1.5 sacks to start this season, 9 tackles and 3 tackles for a loss. And against a Laverne team that has struggled with protecting the passer, already having 9 sacks allowed on the season, it is very important that Joshua Williams can get back in that backfield and disrupt the pass. It's going to be a huge part of getting this Chapman defense back in rhythm.
Yeah, and as much as these players will impact the game, it might even be a statement to say that it might be even more of an impact with the coaches. You know, as Isabella mentioned, these are 2 teams that know each other really well. Over 26 games played, Chapman leading that series 15-11 with the last 6 going to Chapman. So these 2 coaches are going to make a huge impact for Chapman. Bob Owens, over 100 wins with the Panthers in his career. And you switch over to the Laverne side, they got Christopher Critch, who's also been a long tenured coach at Laverne going into his 12th season. Did get that one SCIAC title in 2015, was even the coach of the year, looking to get his squad back to that 2015 form.
Definitely, but not the only coaches that need to be mentioned here. There was a big coaching change this offseason that involved Chapman and Laverne, as Steno Adams, Chapman's former wide receiver coach, went away from Chapman after his long tenure there and moved to Laverne to be the DB coach, a position that Steno played earlier in his football career. So this left Chapman in a bit of disruption as they had to figure out who they wanted to move in for their offensive coaching. And thankfully, Joshua Blinder was able to give us a little bit more insight on those offseason changes.
This offseason, Chapman's wide receivers coach, Steno Adams, left the football program. A fresh start for Steno, which ended his run since 2014, helping Chapman's wide receivers. His landing spot? Laverne, as a defensive backs coach, a position he played in college at the University of Charleston. Adams joined the Panthers back in 2014, having previously spent a year coaching running backs for another SCIAC rival in the Claremont Rudd Stags. The move came months before a Chapman season which bolsters a starting wide receiver lineup of 3 fifth-year senior targets, John Krall, Wyatt Harden, and the 2021 All-Conference threat in Spencer Corona, the 3 giving an array of weapons for new transfer quarterback Nathaniel Espinoza. Adams leaving left Chapman with a large hole, which was filled by head coach Bob Owens' little brother, Michael, who had previously coached quarterbacks.
Oh, Coach Adams, bright, intelligent. We enjoyed his 6 years here. I think there's better opportunity for him at Laverne, and we wish him nothing but the best. I think the adjustment's been good. It's been smooth. They're getting used to me. I'm getting used to them. They play real hard, so I love them. I think every kid is unique. So as a whole, we have some vitals. You have to know where to line up, complete your assignment, obviously catch the ball, and we give great effort. Effort is free, so we like to give great effort.
The hole at quarterbacks coach was filled by former Chapman star quarterback and future Chapman Hall of Famer Michael Leahy, creating an opening at running backs, which was filled by Isaiah Williams. Offensive coordinator Casey Shine spoke of any impact the shift in staff will have for the Panthers the rest of the season.
There's been an adjustment learning curve. I mean, a couple of coaches shifted around. You're bringing in a brand new coach and you're losing a coach who knows the offense, knows the players, knows us, knows the system, knows the school, very comfortable with. And so just reteaching a new coach everything that's happening here just takes time.
All of these moves because of the departure of Coach Adams left the Panthers with questions to answer. How they impact the Panthers the rest of the season? Well, the beauty of football is that we'll find out just how much it does with the Panthers facing a run of important conference matchups.
That was a beautiful performance there by Evan Raymond doing the national anthem right here as we get started for the football game here. Now, what did you see from that package that was a little interesting there?
You know, one thing to know, not only the departure of Steno Adams, but a new offensive coordinator in Casey Shine. So that's a big task for him, coming into a new program, having to learn everything about this offense. And what we've seen is this offense is rolling right now, both on the ground, like you mentioned. That's the focal point of their offense, but also through the air. And they got three talented receivers, like we saw mentioned in the package. We got Corona, we got Kroll, and we got Harden. Three key guys for this offense right now. And it's going to be a big key to win this game, getting that offense rolling early.
Yes, definitely. And as the Panthers now get ready to take the field, we do have some of the team captains out there right now as they get prepared for the coin toss, and the starters are beginning to get announced here on the football field. So we're going to get ready here for what should be some great football, a huge game here for the Chapman Panthers as they have to get another win here in the books before we start getting into conference matchups. The Laverne Leopards also take the field on the other end there as they begin to line up as their team captains are also lining up. So to name off some of the team captains for the Chapman Panthers, we do have Spencer Corona, that is number 13, one of the starting receivers for the Panthers. We have Ryan Haith at number 3, and we have Marcos Reyes at number 5, and then to top it off, number 8, we have Adam Onderate.
Yeah, this Chapman,
Underrated, my apologies.
Yeah, this Chapman team, they're a very experienced lineup here tonight. You mentioned all three of those star receivers we saw in the package are fifth-year starters, getting that extra year of eligibility from COVID, the super senior, as they're known of, and they're going to have to utilize that experience as this season rolls on, teach the younger guys how to keep that momentum going, keeping that energy up, especially after coming off of a loss. How do they bounce back in tonight? They're going to have the home field advantage here, and we know Chapman, they always bring a lot of energy in this crowd, so expect that to try to give them a boost here as we see down at the coin toss right now.
Big time, and as we look for the result of the coin toss, it looks like Chapman will be receiving the ball first, and Laverne is going to shake hands here and will be the first team to kick off. It looks like the win will be to Laverne's back. And let's get started with the player introductions. First off, on the Laverne side, who do we have here tonight?
Yeah, so this Laverne team, as we mentioned, quarterback Miguel Aguero, he's going to be tasked with getting points on the board for the Leopards. Big key, as we mentioned at the top, Kyle Bandy, he's that big workhorse for the running back. Jonathan Torres, that one wide receiver right there out in the... And then Ethan Medeiros right there. That's the key receivers for Laverne tonight. McKenna Ramos-Camaca as well, gonna be tasked beating those Chapman defenders. Arturo Herrera Caballero right there as the tight end for the Leopards. And then as you get to the line, Alvaro Nayeda at left tackle right there, also known as Bobo. And then Trent Mondini at the guard position, going to need to pull those guards really well. Tevin Bowie as that center position, very underrated, very difficult position. And then back out at that tackle, Aaron Erlenmeyer right there. And then finishing up on the line, right guard Martin Almirante Reyna right there. And on the defensive side for Laverne, starting at that D-line position, Austin Marin is going to be tasked getting to the quarterback. Oscar Montenegro is that outside linebacker. Trevor McCurry also on that line. They're running that 4-3 look right there with Philip Connor. Got two outside linebackers on the front seven. Derek Guzman will be tasked as the linebacker. Tyler Lee is that inside middle linebacker, and then rounding out the linebackers is Oscar Montenegro as well. Two-way player right there, and then Devin Cobb, cornerback number 1 for the Leopards. Tyler Martin as well as a cornerback. Mason Montañez will be one of the safeties, and then finally finishing out this Leopard defense, it's going to be tasked against a very tough Chapman offense is Terrence Williams Jr. right there. So it's a big key for them. They're going to have to stop an offense that's averaging over 400 yards a game.
Yes, definitely. And now as we move to the Panthers side of the football, a lot of key players here to be mentioned in this game. So to start off, Nathaniel Espinoza, the transfer quarterback for the Panthers at number 1 there. Tanner Mendoza, as we mentioned before, the starting running back for the Panthers. He's going to be a huge part of that run game. We got John Kroll, a part of this big wide receiver trio here for the Panthers. Wyatt Harding right now, the league leader in receiving yards right now for the Chapman Panthers. Then we have Spencer Corona, the big name, 6'2" wide receiver, someone you could throw it up to. And then we have Quentin Bible there at the tight end spot, a huge asset in just the run game and passing. Then we have on the blind side, Donovan Porter at left tackle here, hoping to help block the QB's blind side. Then we have Brandon Fleece right here at left guard there, number 79 for the Chapman Panthers. Vincent Jara right there at center, number 59. He's going to be a huge part of commanding this O-line. Parker Whitman at right tackle, number 63 is there for the Panthers. And Kenny Korber at right guard for the Chapman Panthers to round out that offensive line. On the defensive side, Evan Greaves right there at D-end for the Chapman Panthers. Ty Hardigan for the nose tackle spot there. Isaiah Munoz at D-tackle. Kay Jordan at outside linebacker. Julian Aldrich. And then Simon Hall for both linebacker spots, and Alex Tariquez, as we mentioned before. Rennick Martin at cornerback alongside Isaac Holbrook. Ryan Haith at the free safety spot, and strong safety will go to someone else that we will mention after this. And as we have the kickoff here, this is a good return here. That is number 20, Gino Urso, getting past the 30-yard line to the looks like the 36-yard line.
Yeah, Gio Ursinio has been a big part of that special team. Came into today, 230 yards on the return. He's remembering back to that first game of the season, brought one out deep. So now we get a first look at this Chapman offense tonight.
Yes, and it's going to be interesting here to see how they come out here on the first play. It looks like 2 running backs already set up in the backfield here. That is Isaiah Woods in right now at running back. It looks like we have a 3 running back set here. Isaiah Woods, and that looks to be number 3, Tanner Mendoza, alongside a fullback that is number 36, Jack Cartwright. Here's Nathaniel Espinoza with the snap. It's a play action to start off the game. Espinosa's taking a deep shot, and he's got it to Corona. Corona breaks the tackle. 10, touchdown, Panthers. What a way to start this game. Spencer Corona.
What a way to start. Like you said, we mentioned Spencer Corona, big part of this Chapman offense, and they went deep shot to start this game. Safeties came down out of one-on-one. Perfect ball placement from Nathaniel Espinoza. What a start here.
And that is how you start a game. Spencer Corona down the field on a huge post route, beating the defender for a huge touchdown as the extra point goes in, and the Chapman Panthers now lead 7-0 with still 14 minutes and 41 seconds left here on the clock.
And you see right there on that replay, Laverne was selling out for the run. Chapman came out in a full house look, that 3 running back triangle setup. They were thinking run all the way, and we even mentioned at the pre-show how important Chapman has done on the run game. It's been the focal point of their offense, but back-to-back home games for Chapman, big first plays, and this one, I mean, you can't start anything better if you're the Panthers.
A huge momentum and tone setter there for the Panthers as Laverne now gets set up here to take the kick return. Now, what do you do in this situation if you're Laverne? You know, your team just let up a first play touchdown, How do you respond on the offensive side?
You know, Laverne, as we mentioned, off to a slow start this season, but there's still a lot of game left, okay? You know that this Chapman defense has had some struggles, so if you can match that score right there, we can even expect a shootout tonight. But, you know, if you're Chapman, can't be any happier right there. You got your man, Spencer Corona, fifth-year senior, and that junior transfer, Nathaniel Espinoza, perfect placement on that pass.
A perfect ball there. And the super senior, Spencer Corona, getting it big here as we have the kickoff. And Laverne, the Leopards now, will return the kick as they let it go into the end zone and will take the ball out here at the 25.
Well, one thing I want to note for this Chapman defense, they play with a lot of fire. They haven't gotten the sacks that they want right now. They have gotten 8, but they're going up against an offensive line that you mentioned has struggled this season. So I expect, especially after that quick score, for them to bring a lot of pressure, especially off the edge. Look for number 7. Can't really see the number, but that's long-haired man, Cade Jordan.
Cade Jordan definitely right here as the Laverne Leopards take the field here to start off. As mentioned before, Miguel Aguayo Jr. right here to take the snap for the Laverne Leopards. Here we go with first down. It's a simple handoff, and it is disrupted immediately. And that is the name we have mentioned before, Alexander Tariquez, getting right there inside to get sacked for a loss.
Yeah, really good job shooting through that A-gap, reading run all the way on that play. Set up in that pistol match that Laverne went run first, that they thought Chapman was going to start with. Chapman read that play well. Now we already got a second and long.
Yes, Tariquez already making a difference here as Laverne starts on second and long here, hoping to get some yards to make it third and manageable. Quick slant route, and it is disrupted there. That is number 25 on the Panthers. A great play there by Cooper, as they put him. Spencer Cooper tried to get the ball there, but it was disrupted immediately.
Yeah, so as I mentioned,
Cooper versus Cooper there.
But Chapman's bringing a lot of pressure early on. They played with the single high safety man coverage right there. They're trusting the receivers who are on an island with their defenders. They believe they can get pressure on this Laverne offense, and now got a third and long here. Pass play most likely. Let's see how Chapman plays.
Here we go with 3rd and 12 here. He takes the snap, draws back in the pocket, steps up, tries to hit a curl route. That's up in the air, and that's an interception. That is intercepted by number 3. That is Ryan Heath.
What a play right there. Defense, big energy plays early on for Chapman. You saw on that play right there, Cade Jordan on the outer half really beat that right tackle early on. That forced Aguero to have to really get that ball out quickly. His touch on the ball isn't that crisp right now, and you see Heath really hyped up after that one.
And both sides of Chapman right now are in sync right now. A perfect start that you can ask for the Panthers as they start off in the same 3-back set here. Nathaniel Espinoza will be taking the snap here on first down. And it's a read option play. We mentioned the read option before. Nathaniel Espinoza takes it to the outside. He bounces outside. About a gain of 9 yards there. It will make it 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and Espinoza, though he is that dual threat quarterback, don't expect him to be as much of a dual threat as you think. Still battling a little ankle injury. Same thing that Spencer Corona, who was limited in practice this week. The practice, I remember that you and I went to, wasn't even dressed for that. It was sitting out that practice, and both of them early on showing that they're 100%.
Yeah, injuries so far not a concern for the Chapman Panthers as we have second down here. Another play action. He gets it to his starting running back. Touchdown, Panthers! Touchdown, that is Tanner Mendoza, number 3. And just like that, the Chapman Panthers take a 13-0 lead with an extra point away from making it 14-0.
Yeah, that full house setup for Chapman's really getting in the head of Laverne. And like we mentioned, Tanner Mendoza is a name you have to look for when they're in the red zone. We see it there. And Chapman up early.
Up early there as the extra point is good. And the Chapman Panthers now with a 14-0 lead. Here we go. Early in this game, we still have 13 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's, the good old saying, good defense turns into easy offense. That really good defense from Chapman, shortening the field, only had to go 32 yards, and they just got there in 2 plays. And they've only ran 3 plays and have already got 2 scores on the board. So can't ask for a better start if you're the Chapman Panthers.
Yes, and for Laverne right now, they are only it's rough right now for this start for the Laverne Leopards right here as they try to find a little bit of momentum here. Now that they've thrown a pick, do you go away from your game here a little bit, or you stick to your guns down 14-0? What do you do here?
Well, I mean, the 3 plays they ran have all been negative aspects for Laverne, but still, you got a lot of time left. You got to trust the offense. You can't go away from the game plan you came into tonight with because there's so much time, because you are able to score on a defense. Like we mentioned for Chapman, they've shown really well early on, but have still had a little difficulties early in this season. So
yes.
I still think you stick with your game plan.
And here we go with the kickoff. It's a bit of a high kick there and a fair catch call and a fumble. That is picked up by the Chapman Panthers, and just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for the Leopards, the Chapman Panthers get the ball inside the Laverne 40.
Yeah, it's running back Kyle Bandy who could not, or sorry, that is number 32, Nathan Campos, could not handle that. Called the fair catch. It was a little pooch kick from Ken Byrell. Perfect placement right there.
Oh, man. Wow, a big break there for the Laverne Leopards. A whistle was blown a little too early there, and therefore they have to replay the down. So a huge break there for Laverne.
Yeah, it's, nothing you really can do if you're Chapman. The official just assumed Campos would make the grab there, the freshman from Rancho Cucamonga, California. But if you're Chapman, you still know that kind of pooch kick can be in play because you got a little butterfingers on the Leopard side. So let's see if they run that kind of special pooch kick kickoff.
Not to mention what it does for Laverne's mentality here. Now they're a little bit more on edge when it comes to kicks like that. Who knows, affects them mentally, but let's see what happens here on this kickoff. Whether the Panthers choose to kick it deep or try another pooch kick as they did right before. So now looking at it from the Panthers' defensive perspective, what do you do to keep the pressure on?
I think, Laverne gets the ball. If you're Chapman, still got to bring that pressure. And if you're Laverne, you may have to, even when Chapman was just bringing 4 defenders, weren't even blitzing, they were still getting pressure because that O-line is still figuring out the kinks in their game, in their technique. So if you're Chapman, continuously try to get pressure on the quarterback because that can really force those inadvertent throws like we saw on that tipped interception.
Yes. As we saw Alexander getting the first big tackle there to start off the drive. And here we go with the kickoff. It is a deep kick right into the end zone, and Laverne will take it there at the 25-yard line. Laverne now just looking for something positive here. They have so far only ran 3 plays offensively, each going for negative yards and also 1 turnover. So this is going to be an interesting drive here to see if Laverne tries to play it a little conservative or if they try to catch Chapman off guard and go really aggressive here.
Yeah, let's see if they can really take advantage of that big break they got, because if it wasn't for the inadvertent whistle from the official, it would be Chapman ball right now on Laverne territory. So they're back in that pistol setup right now.
Here we go with Aguero Jr. here in the shotgun, running back to his left. He takes a step on first down. It's a double pass here. Oh, and it is short. He had the receiver open. That was Spencer Poole with the second pass there, and he just couldn't get it to his target.
Yeah, unfortunate right there for Laverne, pulling some tricks out of their bag right there early in this game. And by doing that, that can leave that open in the minds of Chapman. If you try to run a little screen like that to Spencer Poole again, Poole can decide not to pass and instead run. But also, those plays are really tricky because if the quarterback, Miguel Aguero, can't get that behind the line of scrimmage, Poole's going to have to run because he becomes a ball carrier.
A ball carrier, definitely there. So let's see what Laverne trying to be aggressive here. They're rolling out their passer left, a short flat route, and it is caught. But a great tackle there to stop him for about a gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, that's number 8, Adam Andrade right there. Really good open field tackle. That's something that Chapman struggled with early on this season, not getting those one-on-one tackles. It's really had to be a team tackle right there, but another 3rd and long here for Laverne. Let's see if Chapman brings some pressure off the edge.
Yes, this is 3rd and 8 here. Laverne and obviously passing down here. The crowd is getting loud here as Laverne is in a crucial 3rd down to start off this game.
Chapman showing pressure.
They put a man in motion. Looks like it's trips formation. It's a run to the other side, and it is stuffed. That is stuffed right there. That was number 11 for the Chapman Panthers. As we mentioned already, Evan Greaves right there.
A really good stop right there from Greaves. Interesting call from Laverne going with a run on 3rd and 8. Maybe they're not trusting their receivers. Had a little miscommunication, little throws that haven't been on target. But they're already set up for another 3 and out to give the ball back to the Chapman offense that they haven't been able to stop.
Yes, and this is an interesting punting formation that you don't see every day. You have 3 receivers out here on this punting formation. So let's see what Laverne does here. They try to do a fake and it works. That's the Leopards' 1st down right there. And he's hit out strong there. A big hit at the end of that run, but it gets the Leopards down to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, big boom right there, but big stop for Laverne on that one. Pulling out all the stops right there. That was Emmanuel Gabrieldi Stevenson on that. And you mentioned the trips receivers to the right on that pump formation. Don't see it often, and it could be something that they go with the fake, and they did exactly that, going that little shovel pass to pick up that 1st down. Big job for Laverne.
Was not a formation that you usually expect out of a punt, and of course, it was a fake. Laverne here being aggressive early on, trying to get right back into this game. Here we go with 1st down at the 45-yard line. Simple handoff here, and he pushes forward for about a gain of 3 there. A solid run there at the end.
Good job on that run, picking up that little chunk of yards. And that 4th down conversion could be just what Laverne needs to just be that little spark of energy. You know, before the crowd even sat down, they look up at the scoreboard. They're trailing 14-0. They need anything to go their way to flip a switch momentum-wise, and they may just have that on that conversion.
Yes, that was Kyle Bandy there with the good run there on 1st down. Here we go with 2nd down, shotgun pistol formation. Another handoff there, and it is stuffed immediately. That is number 7 for the Chapman Panthers, who is hyped right now.
Yeah, Cade Jordan always brings the energy. And fun fact, Cade Jordan, a resident native of Elk Grove, California, which our director of tonight's game, Emily Cho's also a native of. They both went to rival high schools. Cade Jordan going to Elk Grove High, whereas our director Emily went to Franklin High. So, you know, she's got to be hyped about her hometown native.
Funny how things turn out, right? Here we go with 3rd down here. Draws back, that's early pressure. Great movement in the pocket by the quarterback. Throws it deep, and it is caught. That is a 1st down there inside the 20-yard line. And that is Spencer Poole, who you talked about earlier, number 0 for Laverne.
Yeah, biggest reception on the year for Poole right there. Really good job from Aguero escaping the pressure. The right tackle's having a little difficulties early on, keeping pressure off the edge, and Aguero is able to evade that, stay calm, keep his eyes upfield, and find Poole and dropped it in like a bucket perfectly.
Great improvisation there by Aguero Jr. And now Laverne has the ball inside the 20-yard line. This is huge here. They need a touchdown. Here we go with 1st down at the 16-yard line. Aguero draws back, quick slam route, and it is dropped there. That was a low pass, just could not take it in. It would have gotten within the 5 there.
That's Ethan Medeiros right there. Aguero, besides that throw to Poole, has been a little off on his touches. Hasn't been really, you want to get it to that chest, heart area where those receivers can make that grab. But that one a little low on the pass. You got to think Aguero's going to start to adjust. Has had a little difficulties with completion rating this season, but let's see how he adjusts as this game goes on.
Big time, big time, big time. And here we go, 2nd down from the 16-yard line. Let's see what Laverne does here. They put a man in motion. Looks like they have it as an extra blocker, and it is a run play here right up the gut, and it is a solid run there. That is Edwin Corlito right there with the 1st run there for Laverne.
And, you know, Laverne marching down on this drive, and it's come from a couple big breaks. You had that dropped kickoff return that got turned back, giving the ball back to Laverne, and then that big 4th down conversion. Now you find yourselves on the Chapman 14 yard line, moving the ball down well, trying to put some points on the board.
Definitely. Here we go with 3rd down here, a huge 3rd down. You have to think Laverne would go for it here. Draws back in the pocket, had the slam route open for a second, and it throw is behind, but there is a flag on the field there. Flag on the back end. They might have thought early contact.
You know, it did look like early contact, but from what I saw on that play right there, the ball was tipped, forcing the linebacker to come early. The ball didn't go where it was supposed to go, and both the defender and the wide receiver were adjusting.
And as we get the call there, it is a pass interference, a spot foul, puts Laverne inside the 5 here.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Chapman. Like I said, you know, that tipped pass, that was the difference in that pass interference call right there, because the wide receiver and linebacker were both adjusting to that tipped pass, and they were both going back into it, and they collided, forcing that flag to be thrown.
And here we go with 1st down inside the 5 yard line at the 4. They put a man in motion again. Looks like a handoff right up the gut, and it is stuffed. Corralito can only get about 1.5 yards, maybe even just half a yard.
That's going to set up a 2nd down here. Still don't have to abandon the run game. You had a little success with it, but you want to force yourself so far, if you're Laverne, on the 3rd downs, to be 3rd downs and manageable, where Chapman doesn't know if it's going to be a pass or run. You get to those 3rd and longs, you're going to think pass almost all the time, but you get close to that line marker on 3rd downs, you can open up any play you want to do.
Definitely here, and that's what Laverne is planning on doing here on 2nd down. Looks like they're about the 4 yard line here. Pistol formation, we've seen this before. Laverne, he steps up in the pocket, throws a fade route, and the Leopards go the distance to put them back in this game. What a throw, what a catch.
Yeah, really good placement right there from Aguero. That was number 31, McKenna Ramos-Kamaka. Perfect back shoulder fade. As you see on this replay, quarterback could not get anywhere near it. That is just perfect elite ball placement right there, as just what the Leopards needed to get that momentum back in their favor.
Put it on the top shelf where the kids can't get it. Here we go as Laverne hopes to get themselves within 7 here with the extra point, and the kick is up and good. And Laverne now, just like that, is back in this one, only down a touchdown here, and the momentum back on the Leopard side.
Yeah, and just to think that drop, if it wasn't for that inadvertent whistle, Chapman would have the ball up 14 on the Laverne side of the field, looking to go up 3 scores. But now Laverne back within 1 score.
Yes, and now here we go with the Panthers offense, who's actually only run 3 offensive plays, but has 2 touchdowns to their name. So it's going to be a little interesting here to see what they run on another full drive on their side of the field.
And it looks like it took a little bit of time. I didn't know score hadn't changed to 14-7, and we saw the hands go up, but sometimes scoreboard ops here at Wilson Field, like, they may not see it because it's a hard angle right there. But Chapman will get the ball back now. Let's see how they respond also after giving up a score. Let's see, that offense got a little breather, even though haven't been on the field too long,
yes.
3 plays, but let's see how they respond.
Definitely here as we have the Leopards here to kick off, 7 minutes and 28 seconds, and we already have 21 points on the board with both teams combined. Deep kick there that is received by the Panthers. The Panthers, he has a lane there, fights through and gets to about the 38-yard line. It might be the 37.
Yeah, it was Isaiah Woods, 3rd string running back. You know, about actually the 2-way. Him and Marco Reyes have about flipped back and forth for carries. Tanner Mendoza obviously being that number 1. But Chapman's offense back out. They've got the passing and receiving game, or that passing and running game going early on. Let's see what they run with here.
Looks like we have trips to the left here. The wide receiver trio of the Chapman Panthers to the left. And we have Nathaniel Espinoza there at quarterback with Tanner Mendoza right next to him. They motion Corona, and they throw to Corona. Corona is going to catch it and run. He has a bit of a lane. He keeps fighting for yards, and he gets to about the 40-yard line of Laverne. A good first play to start the drive.
Yeah, simple concept right there. Just a motion over a little screen, trying to read if it's man or zone coverage. Espinoza's looking really good early on. Great blocking from Chapman as well.
Not to mention Spencer Corona, who right now seems to be getting the load of attention here on the offense. Here we go with Nathaniel Espinoza at quarterback. Sends a man in motion here. Tanner Mendoza gets the ball here. Tanner Mendoza finds a lane, fights up ahead, and he gets to about the 35, 34-yard line there for Laverne.
It seems anything Chapman runs is working right now, whether it be pass or run. And it looks like they're going to run a little tempo right now, trying to get Laverne, catch him off guard, trying to keep him tired.
Definitely here, and we have Nathaniel Espinoza getting the play from the sideline here. 3 receivers to the left. Spencer Corona alone to the right. Something to mention there. Looks like we have number 5 in the backfield as well. Nathaniel Espinoza keeps it, has a lane, stays in bounds. And he falls out of bounds at around, it looks like he stepped out a little earlier. That would be at around the 27, 26-yard line.
And nonetheless, really good run from Espinoza. Looks like that ankle is 100%, got some velocity and speed, as you see right here. Perfect zone read, reading number 22 of Laverne, and unfortunately steps out right out of bounds.
Step out there. Could have been a much bigger game for the Panthers, but no matter what, a first down either way. Here we go with first down here. Espinoza, it's a muffled snap! Picked up, great awareness there. That is number 5 for the Chapman Panthers. That is Marcos Reyes, my apologies, with a great awareness there to save it from being a huge momentum shifter.
Yeah, heads-up play from the senior right there. A little miscommunication. I mean, this Chapman offensive line, very experienced, have only allowed 1 sack through their first 3 games this year. That's what they really teach that Chapman offensive line. They run a lot of quick plays, so the defense can't get those sacks.
And here we go again. Now 2nd and 14 here. First bit of adversity that this offense is going to face. Espinoza steps up. Good throw there. And he breaks a couple tackles. He puts a move on. And he's down to about the 3-yard line. Marcos Reyes, who we just talked about on that last play.
Yeah, Marcos Reyes looking like a pinball machine right there, bouncing off his tackles. Look at Espinoza stepping up, not getting worried, looking upfield, and Laverne Leopard's unable to make that tackle, and now they're set up on the 5-yard line, looking to strike. Marcos
Reyes putting that hit stick down and fighting for those extra yards, and they feed him again. And Marcos fighting again. Marcos! And it's a fumble, but he looks like he recovers it down at about the 1-inch yard line. Inches now, 2nd and inches here.
Really can't get any closer than that. You just see the power from Marcos Reyes, and this running back committee that Chapman likes around, about 3-4 guys, Mendoza, Reyes, Woods. Sometimes they even throw Gio Ursino in there. It's whoever has that hot hand they go to. It looks like early on it's Marcos Reyes.
And speaking of the hot hand here, the Chapman Panthers give it to Marcos Reyes, and Reyes punches it in for a Panthers touchdown.
A really good job from Reyes. The offensive line creates that hole. Reyes punches through that and deserves that touchdown. Had a couple big plays throughout that drive, as you see right there on this replay. Gets that hole, and Chapman, big response right there after giving up the score to keep the momentum in their favor.
Yes, Marcos Reyes, a huge engineer on that drive, 26 yards receiving and 7 yards rushing on that drive alone. As the Chapman Panthers take the lead again, or have the lead, but extend it now to 21-7.
And this offense has looked very fluid. They're really catching Laverne off guard. Lots of read option, play action plays. Nathaniel Espinoza is doing a really good job reading those linebackers, reading those safeties, especially like we mentioned at the pre-show, J.J. Ryder, seeing as he comes down on those play-action plays, he could throw over the top of them. And, Nathaniel Espinoza, though he is the transfer, he's looking really calm, cool, and collected early on in this Chapman offense. He's really managed to earn his spot.
Not only Espinoza, though, but the entire Panthers offense. We have to give credit to this O-line right now, winning the battle in the trenches.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, besides that play that Espinoza had to step up, got pressure off the edge, Espinoza's had all the time in the world, and it's really because the offense they run, it's a lot of quick plays, lots of screens, lots of slants. They'll throw in a deep ball once in a while. It's like that West Coast style offense. They want to establish the run game so it can open up the play action plays where once in a while they'll throw it over the top like we saw in the first play of the game.
Definitely, and right now the Panthers will kick it off. Remember, they did have that muffle earlier, but unfortunately it was called back, which actually ended up leading to a Laverne touchdown. So let's see what the Chapman Panthers do here on this kickoff. The kick is deep, but it looks to be returnable here, and they will. Laverne will take it. He has a bit of room here to work with, and he is taken down at about just before the 15-yard line, right down at the 14-yard line. But we do have a Chapman Panther down on the field, and you do hate to see that.
Yeah, you do hate to see, especially this early in the game. But lots of hard-hitting plays early on for Chapman. That looks like it's number 82, Nick Tani, down on the ground right now being tended to. But, you know, this Chapman team as a whole, especially on the defensive side, they're not the biggest in the world. They're not the fastest, but they play with that energy. And that's the one thing you can control about yourself. What kind of energy, what kind of intensity you bring to the game. And in football, you know, you got to be at that 110, 115%, you know, willing to knock someone's head off, that kind of level of intensity. And that's what this defense really brings, especially when they hit the opposing team.
And doesn't look like a good look here on the field, as he is still down the ground. Looks like they're checking up on his knee here.
Those knee injuries can always be scary in football, as you see on this replay. Just kind of got caught up with his own player, and you hate to see those, especially, you know, you saw them flexing out his knee. You think instantly about the ACL, and, you know, even remembering last year, Chapman as starting quarterback come out of the season because of a torn ACL.
But it looks like a good sign here as Tani can get up on his own momentum and limp off of the field as his teammates go to show him support and help him off.
Yeah. Nick Tani, a sophomore out of Rockland, California, up in Northern California, attended Whitney High School.
Tackled by Jack Cartwright.
Now here we go with first down for Laverne. Now they're inside their own 15-yard line, so a bit of a trek here that they'd have to make to score. But what do you expect to see from them right here?
You know, they got, with that injury, they got a little break to really focus up and clear their heads. Let's see if they can have another offensive possession like last one.
And here's a handoff here and a run there for the quarterback. Or actually, that was not the quarterback. That was number 16 there for Laverne. So a bit of a switcheroo here actually at quarterback, as it looks like Aguero is not in at the current moment.
Yeah, that's number 16, Andre Maldonado, sophomore out of Montebello, California here. And
Maldonado so a bit concerning there as Aguero is not in. You wonder if it's a game plan or if Aguero is just unable to go in.
You know, we saw last year with Chapman running two quarterbacks. They switched off every drive, but, you know, Aguero didn't get a chance to see what happened to him that last play.
Maldonado there with a good out route throw, a good broken tackle there, and it's going to be a first down into the 30-yard line. That was Abel Cueva right there with the catch and run.
And once again, like we mentioned, the missed open field tackles from Chapman's really their Achilles heel. You saw Cade Jordan unable to make that tackle, and you see right here, a little quick out route, Maldonado hits him, not in stride, but Cade Jordan unable to make that tackle, and allowing Cueva to get a couple extra yards right there for a first down.
Yes, great play there by Cueva. Here we go with first down at about their own, looks like about their own 28-yard line. It's a handoff here, right up the middle, and it is stuffed. That was Kyle Bandy there with the run attempt, but stuffed by this Panthers D-line.
And we mentioned Bandy, that leading rusher for Laverne, but in tonight's game, hasn't gotten his groove. He's got 4 carries, just 5 yards to show for, whereas for Aideen Corletto, he's really gotten that ball moving, 20 yards in just 3 carries. So let's see if Laverne does what Chapman does, gives it to the hot hand of the night.
Yes, let's see right here what they do on second down. Corderno right here in the pistol formation. We've been seeing a lot of this from Laverne so far. Corderno takes the snap, draws back in the pocket, a quick out route there, and it is too low to grab, incomplete. Incomplete, that'll lead to 3rd and 10 here for the Laverne Leopards.
Yeah, so once again, you know, whatever quarterback's been put out tonight for Laverne, both of them having a little trouble early on with those, you know, crisp receptions. Let's see how they adapt tonight. 3rd and long, obvious passing situation here.
And here we go, right here, 3rd and 10 for the Laverne Leopards. Pistol formation again. We have 2 receivers out to the right. It looks like tight end down as well. Oh, and it looks like we have a stop and a timeout there for the Laverne Leopards. They did not like what they saw there and just want to huddle up and kind of talk this over.
Yeah, we saw Christopher Critch running down the sideline as the play clock got close to 0 right there. They want to make sure they have that good play because, you know, they find themselves down 14 already. They don't want to let this game get out of hand early on. They want to continue the momentum, keep it on their side. And we do apologize. It's actually quarterback number 16, Noah Coronado for Laverne in right now instead of Miguel Aguero Jr.
Interesting move there by the Leopards, especially because Miguel made some big plays there to bring them down the field.
Yeah, and that interception that he threw, though it was not the best of passes, still wasn't really his fault. It was a tipped ball in the air, but 3rd and 10, you can see the cheerleaders trying to get the crowd up, get that energy up this Saturday night here.
Yes, and here we go. Noah in the pistol formation. We have about 3 receivers, or looks like 2 receivers to the right, 1 isolated to the left as he draws back. Noah draws back in the pocket. He's looking deep, steps up, fires away, and it is low, and it will be incomplete, leading to 4th and 10 there for the Leopards. Now, we already saw them fake a punt once already in this game. Do we see it a second time?
You know, the way the defense for Laverne's playing so far, I wouldn't put it out of question. Looks like they're setting up in that same formation, but, you know, talking about that defensive play for Chapman right there, only brought 4, still got pressure. You saw Cade Jordan nearly got that sack, first of the game for him. They're in that trips right here. Let's see what they run.
Here we go with Laverne, and it opens up the punting game. No really pressure there as he's able to get a clean punt off here. This is the return now for the Panthers out of bounds, and he gets to just about the 40-yard line for about a net gain of about 3 to 4 yards.
Yeah, like you said, because of that 4th down conversion, that fake punt, Chapman didn't bring any pressure on that. They're able to, but they're still wary of that, you know, that sweep shovel pass. It could be a pass to a receiver off to the right, but Chapman now has a chance to go up 3 scores here. Their offense really rolling. The only adversity they've really run into, I think they've only had a negative, you know, 1 negative play in tonight's contest so far.
Definitely here. And now we see Chapman taking the ball from their own 41-yard line. Great field position here for the Panthers. Nathaniel Espinoza in the shotgun. We have 1 running back to his right here. Let's see what the Panthers run. It is a play action, a bit of a miscommunication there. He takes a deep shot. Oh, and he overthrows both of his receivers. It looks like they were in the same spot there, so a little bit of a miscommunication there on 1st down.
Yeah, didn't get those assignments right. Espinoza couldn't really thread the needle and drop that ball in the bucket. And also, you know, we saw that injury on the kickoff. Nick Taney, number 82, getting checked out right now on the Chapman sideline by the athletic trainer, pointing down to his knee area to try to see, you know, what they can do to try to get him back in the game.
Here we go with Espinoza on second down, and it's a good throw there. That's Wyatt Harding. Sooner or later, he was going to get the ball, the team's leading receiver, and that's for a gain of about 9 yards there. Looks to be about 8 yards, and it will make for 3rd and short here for the Chapman Panthers.
Yeah, Wyatt Harding's been a big surprise for Chapman, even though he's a 5th-year senior. Spencer Crone has normally been that go-to guy, but he's been amazing.
Here we go with the handoff on 3rd down, and it's going to be a 1st down there for the Chapman Panthers. Strong run up the middle and great blocking by the Chapman O-line again.
As Gio Orsino right now getting his first carry of the night, shot through that gap. He's got a lot of speed right there. A very intense player, likes to keep to himself, but on the field, he's a different animal.
And here we go, 2 running backs in the backfield. Looks to be 1 fullback. Looks like it's
play.
going to be a free play here. He's going to take a shot to Harding. Oh, and it is incomplete. There was a flag, so it's going to be an offsides call there. Taking a free shot, Nathaniel Espinoza. But either way, a gain of 5 yards there for the Chapman Panthers.
Yeah, that offside right there.
Offside's
Automatic first down
huge.
for Chapman. On number 97, Trevor McCurry, sophomore out of Brentwood, California. Big break right there for Chapman because, you know, like that free play, Chapman had a free shot to the end zone. Almost perfect execution, just a little overthrow from Nathaniel Espinoza. And you see his size, you don't think he has that arm listed at 5'11", but, you know, we've talked, we think he's a little closer to 5'9", maybe 5'10", but Chapman doesn't want opposing teams to know that.
Doesn't make a difference either way. Nathaniel Espinoza right now playing great in this first quarter. Good throw to the outside. That is his tight end, number 83. Great catch. That is Quinn Bible with the catch.
A really good concept right there. We've seen a couple of those concepts, those quick out routes on motions right there for the first down, and perfect execution. And as you see on this replay, motioned Bible over and just looked right to him. He was his first look. No one cared to guard Bible on that out round. Looks like Chapman's going to take this to the second quarter.
Yes, and as we take it to the second quarter, that'll have the score for the Chapman Panthers 21 and the Laverne Leopards 7.
And if you're Chapman right now, almost as perfect as a quarter as you want. You're really executing on all sides of the field. And really, it could be 28, maybe even 35-0 if it wasn't for that inadvertent whistle from the ref that gave Laverne an opportunity to score. And if you're Laverne, no need to worry right now. Still got 3 quarters, 45 minutes still to mount this comeback. Still in a 14-point deficit right now. They've gotten Chapman to a couple third downs. Really need to stress the importance of getting those first down plays. They're very key where that offense goes right now.
And here we go as we have the cheer squad down for the Chapman Panthers, trying to get the crowd riled up a little bit. And it looks like they have a bit of a Michael Jackson song going on there as they start grooving down on the sidelines here. And we have first down here for the Chapman Panthers at about the 34-yard line of the Laverne Leopards here. So this is going to be interesting to see what they do here. We have 1 running back in the backfield. That is Tanner Mendoza, the number 1 back there. Nathaniel Espinoza here in gun. Takes the snap, 3-step drop, fires up the seam. That is Bible. That is a touchdown. Panthers, they cannot be stopped right now.
Absolutely perfect play call right there. Couple seams going up the middle. And safety number 23 for Laverne, unable to pick up one. You see Mendoza or Espinoza, perfect read right there, flips it over number 45. That's Derek Guzman, the graduate senior. Perfect pass, perfect play.
And the kick is up and good, and the Chapman Panthers 28-7 here. What a way to start the second quarter for the Panthers.
Yeah, smart job from Bob Owens, letting that last play go to the second quarter. There's no need to rush. The time's not a factor right now. It's on your side either way. Really drew up a perfect play call with that break of the quarter. And Chapman, their offense is rolling right now, cannot be stopped. It's going to be up to that defense. Can they really push Laverne down and really step on their throats?
Definitely here as the Chapman Panthers get lined up for the kickoff. Again, a bit of unpredictability here for Chapman when it comes to kickoffs. You don't know whether they're going to try to do a little pooch kick onside or just send it deep. And that's what's great about the variety that this kicker for the Chapman Panthers brings. That is number 30, Owen Tapia.
Yeah, and interesting note what Tapia does. You see, he's not setting up his ball right on that X mark in the middle of the field. He likes to put it on one side or the other, normally his left, to try to pooch it in one side of the field where his special teams are going to attack that specific side.
Here we go with the kickoff here. 28-7 for the Panthers. Let's see if Laverne can take advantage of a good kick return, hopefully, and maybe get them back in this game. This is Devontae Johnson here with the return. Johnson Tries to find a bit of lane, cuts to the outside. Devontae does not get to the 15-yard line. He'll get to about the 14. Again, starting back in their own field position is Laverne.
Yeah, and both times so far that they have decided to return the ball has cost them about 10, 12 yards. Right now, if he lets that ball go into the end zone, you're starting at your own 25. But the decision to take it out, they're now starting at the 14-yard line, costing their offense 11 yards right there.
It's going to be interesting here to see who Laverne comes out with at quarterback. They had Coronado last time, and here we go with Miguel Aguero Jr. So it looks like maybe they were just testing out another quarterback here for Laverne, a bit of quarterback competition you have for the Leopards.
Yeah, we've seen that early on this season, Coronado getting a little reps in each game, but Miguel Aguero is their number one back.
Aguero, quick snap there, quick throw there, but can't get it low enough for his receiver to pull it down.
That was really good placement on the ball, just a tick too high right there. Trying to find his receiver right there. Perfect on the location on that back shoulder, making it unguardable for the cornerback, but just got to get that accuracy a little better on the height of the ball.
That is Vital Afoa, number 4 for Laverne, that he tried to get it to there. Here we go with second down. Aguero Jr. in the pistol formation seems to be Laverne's favorite formation here. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. They switch formations now, running back to his left, and he takes the snap. Breaks a few tackles, and he is stuffed in the backfield. Looks to fight to get maybe a yard there to the 15, but great defense there by the Chapman Panthers.
That was Devin Cobb making the tackle, but even a bigger play was Adam Andrade right there, forcing the running back to change directions. He didn't get the tackle, but he changed the momentum of the running back, allowing Devin Cobb to make the tackle.
And here we go. We have 3rd and 9, 3rd and long here for the Leopards. Pistol formation, trips to the left. Running back switches to Aguero Jr.'s left side. He wants to be the lead blocker, but he is sacked. That is number 94 for the Chapman Panthers with a great play and disruption, stopping the flood route. That is Tyler Hill.
Now, the freshman out of Washington right there busted up that gap right there, as you see on this replay. On that A gap, rolled out to his left, missed assignment from the blockers right there of Laverne, causing the sack right now. Now they're going to be punting from their end zone here. You see that?
Hard to think they'd fake it here as the punt is up and away, and we do have a fair catch called for and taken by the Panthers as they get it at pretty much the 50-yard line. So again, good field position, can't ask better than that.
Yeah, Chapman really winning the field position battle early on in this game. Really haven't found any adversity on the offensive side, and they're causing a lot of disruptive plays for the Laverne offense. Let's see if Laverne can get that much needed stop. You don't want this game to get too out of hand where it's too big of a comeback to mount in the second half.
Also to mention the fact that Laverne's defense has been on the field a lot now, so they could be getting a little tired here as the Chapman offense keeps the pressure on. 2 running back formation here. Espinoza motion, Spencer Corona over to the right side. It's a play action here. A deep shot by Espinoza, and it is overshot. He tried to get Wyatt Harding there, but could not get it to him.
And we've seen early on, both of these quarterbacks, they've had the routes they need. It's just a matter of executing those to perfection. A little off on their touches, both of them early on. That's only Espinoza's 3rd incompletion of the night. He's got 3 touchdowns to show already, 174 yards, already more than his last week total.
Definitely here. Now they just need to find that connection with Wyatt Harding. See if he can get that going here in this game. Espinoza now. 2 running back formation here. Let's see what the Panthers do. He takes the snap. He hands it off. Tanner Mendoza up the middle. Tanner Mendoza gets a gain of about 2 yards there.
And that's a big play for Laverne. It's going to force a 3rd and long. Longest 3rd down that Chapman has had to mount right here. Let's see if Laverne can get their defense off the field, get that much needed stop, get the ball back in the hands of their offense.
Definitely. Let's see what Nathaniel Espinoza comes up with here and the Chapman offense. Tanner Mendoza to his left. Nathaniel Espinoza here. 2 receivers to the right. Takes the snap. Spencer Corona is one-on-one down the field. Something to mention. Espinoza tries to find someone, and he has to throw it away there. Great pressure by the Laverne defense.
That was number 44 right there for Laverne, getting pressure on Espinoza, forcing him to roll out, and now we'll see Chapman punt for the first time tonight. And something to note, you don't punt a lot in the game. It could lead to miscommunication. These guys that work at their craft, 15 hours a week.
Yes, and an interesting punt formation here as well. As the punt that's a great punt up in the air. And it just bounces into the end zone there. So Laverne will take it at the 20. Great decision there to not retrieve it for Laverne and let it just bounce right into the end zone. That was Edwin Corlito right there.
Yeah,
Corletto.
Really faked out the Gunners on that play, and Tapia just didn't get the right bounce he wanted. He wanted a little more backspin on that, but it bounced forward into the end zone, giving Laverne a spot at the 20-yard line. Let's see if they can mount a long drive here, get some points on the board, try to swing momentum. You got Chapman to punt for the first time tonight. Let's see how you can rebound from that.
Definitely right here as Laverne takes the field at the 20-yard line. Some of the best field position they've had to start a drive in a while, to be honest. But let's see what they do here. At quarterback, it is Aguero Jr., so they're sticking to their guns there. Handoff on first down, and a strong run there by Kyle Brandy. Gets about 4 for the Leopards.
That's a good first down play. If you go every play 3 yards, you'll never be stopped. That's what I like to think of in football. Every play 3 yards, you'll always get to a fourth down, but you'll never be stopped. So it's those first and second down plays that are really key and underrated. How you get to those third and shorts is very key in games.
Here we go, Aguero Jr. taking it out of the gun here. 2 running back formation here. It's a handoff, and it's a great sweep play there. That is number 5 for the Leopards as he gets to the outside. That was Cuvera right there, getting it to about, let's see, it looks like they have him stepping out actually at the 49-yard line a little sooner than we might have expected.
Yeah, but one of the biggest plays of the night on the ground, as you see on this replay, just a simple sweep play, got the blockers pulling to the left, and that is Mason Montañez right there on the rush. Big play right there for Laverne, big first down, and momentum ever so slightly going towards the Leopards.
Good run there by Abel on first down. It looks like we have pistol formation right now. And feed him again, Abel with and he tries to fight for some extra yards, but he only gets about a gain of 1 there. That stifling Panthers defense gets there on first down.
Try to feed him again after the long 27-yard play, but Chapman able to come up for the stop, just a couple yards gained. Now 2nd and 8. Let's see if they keep feeding the ball to their running backs or if they open up the playbook for a pass here.
There we go. We have a bit of personnel change here, but they do keep Abel in at running back, and it looks to be Aguero Jr. here. Mason Montañez is in. And it's a handoff to Montañez. Oh, and he is stuffed. That Panthers defense gets to him immediately. Number 68, the man we were talking about earlier, Joshua Williams, the key player of the game, getting there first.
Yeah, he may be a D tackle, but he has some speed. You see here just blowing up his guard. And then Cade Jordan coming to collect that tackle for loss as well. Big play right there for Chapman, forcing a 3rd and long here. Pass obvious situation for Laverne. Let's see if Chapman drops back off in coverage or if they try to bring some pressure off the gaps.
Here we go with 3rd and long here. Aguero Jr. is going to have to take a deep shot. Hits a curl route, and it looks to be just short, or actually at the line of scrimmage. So it looks like it'll be a first down for the Leopards. What a play there.
Yeah, what a grab right there. Vitale Ofawa, first grab of the night. Throw was a little inaccurate, but he adjusted perfectly. Turnaround catch, as you see right here. Little throw off balance, but look at that grab on that diving play. Great replay.
Good a catch there by Ofawa. And the Leopards now getting a bit of drive going on here. Let's see what they do here on first down. Aguero Jr. takes the snap, hands it off. Solid run there. He gets about 2, maybe even 1 actually, yards there. That looked to be Kyle Bandy there with the run.
Yeah, once again, Kyle Bandy still hasn't gotten it going. He's gotten the most carries. That was his 6th carry right there. He only has 9 yards to show for it so far. Chapman's really stifled him early on. They're going to keep feeding him. You know, as we mentioned, he is that leading rusher, that leading carrier for this Laverne offense. He's still back there.
So here we go with 2nd and 9 here. 2 receivers on each side here. Aguero sends the running back, that is Bandy, to his right. Aguero, oh, a bit of a miscue there, but Aguero gets right back on it. Great awareness there. And it looks to be a bit of a fight there at the top. And, oh, there's a couple flags thrown there. And it looks like there will be flags on both sides possibly for the Chapman Panthers and Laverne.
Yeah, it was a little some tussling after the play. That was Cade Jordan. We mentioned how much energy he brings. He threw some punches at the end trying to hit the Laverne Leopards in the face. You know, like we mentioned, these two teams, they've played 26 times in this series. Let's see what the penalty they got.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit number 7. 15 yards, automatic first down.
And it looks like it's only called on Cade Jordan there. So that just gives Laverne great field position there, about 15 yards ahead now as they are now in deep Panther territory.
Yeah, you know, Jordan, though he is only a sophomore, played a lot of last season as a true freshman. And that is an uncharacteristic play from him. Even though he has a lot of energy, you got to be able to contain that. And also one thing to note, in the sport of football or even in basketball as well, it's always the second person that throws that punch. You got to be wary of that one.
Definitely there as the Leopards now start at about the 26-yard line. Tries to find space, but just can't. That is Corletto trying to find some room there, but just could not for the Leopards.
Yeah, that was Alex Tariquez on the tackle right there.
One of our key players.
And they're really shooting the gaps and also getting pressure on the outside really well. Got a lot of speed on the edge, does Chapman, and the tackles for Laverne aren't really able to get out to them. You got to have a lot of quick feet on there, and we haven't really seen that early on for the Leopards.
Here we go now for 2nd down and about 11 here for the Leopards. Again, they want to avoid these 3rd and long, so just hoping to get some yardage here.
Still in that pistol formation.
And here's a snap here. Sees no one open, so he decides to take it himself. And Aguero Jr. with a solid run there on 2nd down. It's going to make it about 3rd and 1.
That was a big play right there from Aguero. What I really liked from that is Kyle Bandy, the running back. Evan Grieve for Chapman had a free shot at Aguero, but Bandy saw that, chopped him down from below. Great block right there to give Aguero some time and to scramble up for yardage.
Yes, and a good run there for the Leopards as the Leopards now 3rd and short. This is huge now, and it looks to be an interesting formation. I think we have Wildcat here. This is Corletto taking the direct snap. Corletto fighting forward, and he does get the first down. The Leopards are now inside the Panthers' 15-yard line down to the 14. Wildcat formation there coming through big time.
Yeah, Laverne really pulling out every trick play you could think of. Wildcat formation. We saw a fake punt. We saw the double pass. You know, really you can expect nothing but everything from the Leopards offense early on. And Christopher Critch, you know, as we mentioned, these two teams know each other well, so Critch is trying to catch Chapman defense off guard.
And the Leopards playing like they have nothing to lose right now, bringing out all the tricks in this one. Pistol formation again. This is Aguero Jr. taking the snap. Aguero looks to his left, fires to his left, and it is caught. That is a touchdown, Leopards. Aguero with the throw. What a play. That is Ethan with the catch.
Ethan Medeiros right there. Back shoulder corner fade right there. Perfect placement. Wasn't really a Chapman defender in sight. And Laverne starting to get momentum. Got the stop they needed on defense and put up yet another score. We could be looking for a shootout right now, as you see. Good job on the fake. Perfect throw in the corner for Aguero. And now it's just a 2-score game here in orange.
And the Leopards refusing to give up here despite having to fight through the adversity, and it is a missed extra point there that could be huge. Now makes the score 28-13.
Yeah,
so 15-point game instead of 14.
Yeah, pulled it a little to the left right there. Chapman still up though, as you see the Laverne, biggest drive of the game, went down 80 yards and took off almost 7 minutes of game clock. And a thing to note as well, Chapman got the ball first, so Laverne will be getting the ball in the third quarter. They get a stop and a score. It is a one-possession game with Laverne getting the ball to start next half.
Big time here. So the Chapman Panthers now with 5:47 left here in the first half. They do need to make a drive here. They can't play conservative, so they don't give the Laverne Leopards a chance to really get momentum going into halftime here.
And another big thing to note is this Chapman defense could be tired. They've been on the field for over 17 minutes of this game, whereas the Laverne defense, just 6.5 minutes. So this Chapman defense, they're getting tired. You may see Laverne run more tempo their next drive, and they're starting to get in a groove, getting in a rhythm. So if you're the Chapman offense right now, you need a long, methodical drive to get some points.
And that's kind of the advantage and disadvantage of those quick drives that the Panthers have had offensively. The advantage is that you're scoring, but the disadvantage is also the fact that you're having your defense have to be on there more often than not. It's a bit of squib kick there, picked up by Tanner Mendoza. Mendoza finds a bit of a lane, fights ahead, and Mendoza gets to the 45, 44-yard line there.
Once again, Chapman starting with great field position, and Laverne unable to make open field tackles, about 4 or 5 counted missed tackles against Mendoza right there. He's a big boy, big senior for Chapman.
Mendoza with the improvisation there for the Panthers. Not really expecting a squib kick there, but still takes it and makes it positive yards.
Interesting to see also, they sent the squib kick to the Chapman running back. Normally you see those, you want to get it to a player that doesn't handle the ball too often.
Here we go with Espinoza in the backfield. Marcos Reyes to his left. They motion Quinton over to the left as well. Nathaniel drops back in the pocket, gives it to Quinton. Oh, and it is dropped by Quinton. A huge drop there. He could have taken it and ran for a couple more yards as well, but it leads to a 2nd and 10 instead.
Yeah, nonetheless, really good route from Bible right there. Picked apart that zone, got in between both defenders. This Chapman offense, so far in the passing game, they're having a lot of success. The receivers are at finding the holes in the zone coverage, and when Laverne switches to man, they don't have enough speed to contain the Chapman receivers.
Daniel Espinoza now in the shotgun. Again, we have Reyes is the running back in, and they fake it to Reyes. Nathaniel Espinoza with a lot of room here, and Espinoza will run out of bounds, reaches the ball over, and they will, looks like they might give him the first down, and they will. First down run for Nathaniel Espinoza.
Yeah, dual threat quarterback, always got to think of that. And you see on this replay, perfect read right there. Laverne in man coverage, so it frees up a lot of open running ground for Espinoza. That's what you always got to think of as the defense playing a dual threat mobile quarterback.
Here's Espinoza taking the snap here. This time they give it to Marcos Reyes. Reyes up the middle. Reyes is going to score for the Panthers.
Great job right there for Chapman. Opened up the hole. Another quick score, and they answer back with a score of their own.
And that is the advantage when you have a running quarterback like Espinoza who is able to hold that end on those read options. It opens it up for the running back right now. Marcos Reyes, the team's leading rusher, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Reyes has been making his impact in this game as the kick goes through. And again, the Chapman Panthers score quick here. It is 35-13 now.
You see in that replay, Laverne was banking on Espinoza keeping that. They were all blitzing off that left corner, opened up a ginormous hole for Marcos Reyes, and really got to the second level very quick, got a lot of speed. And like you mentioned, being the leading rushing attack tonight, once again, Bob Owens giving it to the hot hand. Tanner Mendoza was one of our key players tonight because he was that leading rusher this season because he's had the hot hand. Tonight, it's Marcos Reyes.
And we've been talking about those quick drives for the Chapman Panthers. Less than 5 plays again on this drive for the Chapman Panthers. So again, the advantage is Chapman right now seems unstoppable on that offensive side, but now the defense with a short break and has to be out there again going against the Leopards, who have found a bit of rhythm here offensively.
And, you know, it's still early in the season, so the conditioning of players may not be that peak level that you want. So this is really going to be a test for this Chapman defense, as it looks like you mentioned, this Chapman offense not getting stopped a lot, getting a lot of quick scoring drives. Let's see how the defense can come play after a short break.
And here we go with the kickoff here. This is Verne returning. And they'll let it go out into the end zone. Devontae Johnson was thinking about it for a second, but decided to let it bounce in the end zone. And they'll take the ball at the 25.
You got 5 minutes left. Your last drive was just under 7 minutes. If you're Verne, you get a score on the board. Don't allow Chapman to get the ball back. You go into the half, you're down 14, but you get the ball to start next quarter or start next half. So that could be a motivator for you. Got to get a score and then maybe a stop on Chapman. You could take a lot of momentum into the half.
Definitely here as we have Aguero Jr. coming out. Also number 5, the running back for Verne. That is Mason Montanez. Montanez so far has had the biggest carry for Verne, but Montanez will not find anything there. Actually, he'll find a negative 2-yard gain there for Verne.
That was Joshua Williams once again, that key player showing up, busting through that A gap right there, able to make yet another tackle for loss. Count it 5 this season and 2 of them in this game.
Big time. Joshua Williams, as we predicted, was going to be that big impact player, and so far has proven us right as he is disrupting that interior line of the Leopards. Here we go with 2nd and long here.
You see Cade Jordan out in coverage right now. Don't see that normally.
And here we go. Aguero takes a snap, tries to hit the quick fly route, and he does. That was number 4. Oh, and a good tackle out of bounds there. That was Ethan right there with the catch, the man who also caught the touchdown on the last Leopards drive. There for a gain of about, looks to be 6 yards, 5 yards possibly.
And Cade Jordan could have been flagged for another unnecessary roughness right there through Medeiros. Out of bounds right there. We mentioned a lot of energy he brings. So now,
you got to be careful not to be giving Verne any momentum here, as you do have him in about a 3rd and medium situation here. Looks to be about 3rd and 6. So it looks to be a passing down, obviously, but we've seen Verne run it on 3rd and long as well. But let's see, timeout there for Verne, so they do want to huddle up and take some time to think about what play they actually do want to run.
Yeah, Chapman, as they were getting set up defensively, was showing blitz right there. Aguero, when he's had time, has been able to find the open receivers. Chapman may want to try to eliminate that time, get to the quarterback quick, because that offensive line has had a lot of struggles this season, and especially tonight. They've only given up 1 sack, but lots of tackles for losses for this Chapman defense tonight. Got 7 tonight on that defensive side. So the offensive line not doing a good job protecting their players. So I got to think Chapman's going to bring the blitz here.
Okay, and as we look back here, this is the Verne touchdown that did happen on that last drive. A good throw by Aguero and an even better catch by Ethan as he gets 1 foot in and catches it on his fingertips.
Yeah, it was perfect placement, but I think a really good catch. That was a hard one to grab, like you said, with the fingertips over his shoulder. Really had to stretch out, needed every part of his body to be in fluid motion to make that grab. I'll see if Verne, they can pick up this 3rd down and try to gain some momentum heading into the second half. Chapman up big, but
again, a touchdown here and a ball back at halftime could be a big momentum shifter and maybe even get them within 1 possession possibly. But we'll see when we get to that point. Here we go on 3rd and long. It looks like we had a bit of movement on the line. This is going to be a free play. Taking advantage. Wide open. He's at the foot race down to the 15-yard line. That is Vital with the catch. Taking advantage of the offsides with a deep shot and catching the Panthers defense off guard.
Yeah, it looks like the Chapman secondary kind of got caught off guard right there. Vital Ofoa really beat that cover 2 blitz right there from Chapman. Got to the 2nd level. Safety could not get there quick enough right there, and he got all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And Laverne now in striking distance.
Vital Afoa now with 59 yards receiving in this game, including that long 46-yard catch there for Laverne. And talking about drives here, Laverne now inside the 15-yard line. Draws back in the pocket, tries to fit it. Ooh, he tried to fit it in there right at the edge of the pylon, but couldn't get it there. Great defense by the Panthers.
Yeah, trying to go to his #1 target in Spencer Poole. Pretty good pass, though, even though that was an incompletion from Aguero. As a passer in those situations, what you want to do is throw a ball that only your receiver can catch. If he can't catch it, you want that being an incomplete pass where the defender can't get his hands on it.
And credit to Cooper there with the great defense on the Panthers side. Another pass disruption for him there. Here we go with 2nd and 10 from the 14-yard line of the Panthers. Aguero Jr. in pistol formation switches it. Aguero, nice little handoff there, and it's stuffed immediately. Number 44 and 85 for the Chapman Panthers there with the disruption. That is Luke with the first tackle.
A little misdirection play right there. Offense was moving to the right, but handed it off over to number 5, Mason Montañez on the play you see right here.
Luke with the early disruption, and then Vinny there with the finish.
Yeah, just miscommunication once again from that offensive line. Still not in sync. About 2:40 left in this half.
And actually have really struggled with protecting the run here, as now we have 3rd and long here. But the Leopards pass game has been working so far as he takes a shot to the right side, puts a little move on. That is Spencer Poole down to inside the Panthers' 10-yard line, but it will not be enough for a first down. So it's going to be 4th down here. Do you go for it if you're the Leopards?
I think you got to get points right here. You got to lead with some momentum, but 2 minutes, the way Chapman's offense has been, might be too much time. But on that play, it looked like Ethan Medeiros hitting that corner route may have been open to fit it in and thread a needle, but looks like Laverne is going to stay out on the field. It's not a 4th and goal situation. They only have to get to the 4-yard line, so it's a 4th and 6. They may just wait. Got only 7 seconds left on the clock, so they may just take a timeout.
Here. They probably are going to call a timeout, and they do. The Leopards call their final timeout here with 1:38. Like you were mentioning, they might be running down the clock here, trying to prevent the Panthers from getting the ball back here at the end of the half.
You know, one thing, if you do go for it, say you don't get it, what that does help for you, Chapman will be on the 10-yard line, and we'll have to go 90 yards to score in just a minute and a half. Just a minute and some change remaining. So I think they may do go for it, because a field goal, you're still down 19 points. That's still a 3-possession game, or still down, 16 points. Well, my mistake. That is 19 points. The math is not working for me. That's a 3-possession game still. So going for a field goal and converting that doesn't do much for your team. Going for it with a touchdown or a first down can give you momentum. But if they don't get it, Chapman's going to have a long way to go to try to score.
Definitely, and even though this Panthers offense has been unstoppable, to go a whole distance of the field, about 90 yards in about 1:30 is pretty hard to ask, even for this amazing Panthers offense. Let's see what formation they have here.
With that receiver stunt, got both receivers behind their respective
one high safety, 2 for the Panthers. Looks to be zone defense, man defense actually, as they motion him around. Steps up, Aguero tosses it back. Actually tries to make something out of nothing, but he can't. He cannot. Montanez is unable to fight for that first down, and that is a good 4th down stand for the Panthers defense.
You know, nonetheless, a really good effort right there from Laverne. You see this, Aguero had pressure, starts to step up, but as he's getting tackled, great vision to get that to Montanez, who's unable to pick up that first. But Chapman now, it's going to be around the 6-7 yard line. So that's going to be 93 yards they're going to have to go in just about a minute and a half remaining. They do have all 3 of their timeouts, however.
Yes, but you also don't want to go and give the ball back to Laverne here at the end of the half. So you do got to play it smart as well. But let's see what the Panthers do. Espinoza gives it right here to his #1 man, Wyatt Harding. Wyatt Harding fights from some yards, gets it to the 20-yard line, and that's a good first play for the Panthers offense.
Yeah, you said it, big first play. Only took off 6 seconds of game clock, got out of bounds, stopped it, but now you have some breathing room behind you. You're not backed up in your own zone. First down. Let's see if they maybe take a shot. Looks like Gio Ursino's in as the running back, but he is flexed out as a receiver in a 5-wide setup.
Espinoza taking what the defense gives him, and yes, as you mentioned, it looks to be empty formation here for the Panthers. Obviously passing down here. Espinoza, quick shot again. Harding taking what the defense gives him, and he gets it down to about the 32-yard line. Another first down for the Chapman Panthers.
A really good job from Espinoza, staying in the pocket, getting that ball out quick. That was that 5-wide setup. And for Laverne, they had a free shot at the quarterback, number 47, Josiah Pignon.
Here we go, empty formation again. Obvious passing down. Espinoza draws back in the pocket, has to step up, tries to get it to Harding again for a third time, but cannot get it. Great pass disruption there from the Leopards.
It looked like slightly a misplay. It looked like he wanted to go another out route to Ursino, but Ursino and Harding kind of ran into each other, bumped in, so he had to adjust, stepped up in the pocket. What I really liked from Espinoza, he looks very comfortable in that pocket. He's not looking nervous. He's going through each of his progressions, and Chapman's offense is cooking right now.
And here we go, a motion. Now we have 4 receivers on the right side. He gets it quick to Beeble. Beeble fights for that first down. And he does. They do get it. Remember, the clock stops after every single first down in college, so it gives them time to set up and run another play.
Yeah, that's something they don't have to worry about. Doesn't have to just go to the sidelines. Got a couple timeouts, and we're still a minute left.
Here takes the snap. Tried to fit it to Beeble. Oh, and it is a dropped pick there. It could have been a huge momentum shifter for Laverne. Threw it just behind his receiver.
That's freshman Nicholas Meza with the drop right there, just out of his hands. Not a good touch on the ball from Espinoza. Big break right there for Chapman as they still have the ball. As you see on this replay, behind him, and Meza just couldn't get his hands under it.
And again, you don't want to give Laverne here a turnover and maybe good field position where their offense still has a chance to possibly work. Another short throw to Wyatt Harding, but this time it is dropped. It looked to be a wide receiver screen. Now Chapman has had 2 negative plays here, and they will face a 3rd and long.
You know, at a time like this, 3rd and long, 52 seconds, you're still up 20-plus points. I maybe think they run this ball. If they don't get it, they could take the clock down to about 10 seconds and then just punt the ball away, not giving Laverne any chances, because he's still got a long ways left to go. We haven't seen a kicker, Ken Byrell, out yet to kick field goals. We see him normally hitting from about 40, 45 yards. That's about his range. Looks like Chapman's going to take a timeout.
Chapman will take their first timeout here of the game. Nathaniel Espinoza seemed to be having a bit of confusion there on that play.
Timeout, Chapman. Their first timeout of the half.
Yeah, but I think they're going to talk this over. You don't want to be too aggressive, because like we saw on that pass play, it was a drop away. If Meza holds on to that ball, it's Laverne's ball, and they can get momentum going into the half. But now I think you run it conservatively. Maybe a little, if you want to pass, maybe do something that you know will run the clock. You still got 2 of your timeouts remaining, and in college, like we stated, first downs do stop the clock. So I think they run it conservative, take this game to the second half with a 22-point lead.
It'll be interesting to see what they do here. It depends, too. In the end, this Chapman offense hasn't been stopped, so let's see how much trust this Panthers coaching staff has in their offense here to try to convert something here on 3rd and long.
Lots of talking over on both sides. Let's see what head coach Bob Owens and new offensive coordinator Casey Shine call up here.
Here we go with Nathaniel Espinoza. He has his running back Gio to the right of him. So a possible run here that can be, and they motion Beeble again. Espinoza takes the snap. This will be a pass. Espinoza gets it to Harding for the first down to the 43-yard line. It was a deep out route there.
And it looked like right before the snap, Laverne had a lot of miscommunications you saw with their linebackers. You see on this replay, you see him a little confused there. Espinoza went through his progressions, found his receiver, Wyatt Harden, who's been unstoppable so far in this drive.
Wyatt Harding now 35 yards receiving. Let's see what Espinoza does here on second down. On first down, clear passing down, fits it up the seam, breaks the tackle. This is a foot race, and it's going to be a Panthers touchdown. What a play there. A throw down the seam, a broken tackle, and a touchdown for the Chapman Panthers. That is John Kral.
Amazing reception. Haven't had a chance to call Kral's name tonight. And what a perfect first reception to have. Broke a couple tackles. Once again, Laverne unable to make those open field tackles.
There's Kral catching it, able to fight off that first safety. He did not wrap his tackle, and Kral showing that breakaway speed that makes him so deadly at receiver, being that run after catch target for the Panthers. And now Chapman has just taken the lead 42-13 here in the first half.
And smartly, they went against my thinking of trying to run the clock out on that 3rd and 10. If it was me, I'm playing very conservative, especially because it's this early in the season. You want to get those wins you need. And Chapman,
on most situations, you would play conservative, but when you got a gunslinger by Nathaniel Espinoza, you just let it fly. And there we go, a Panthers drive for a touchdown. We have 37 seconds left here in the first half, so we don't really expect much to see here for Laverne, but you never know.
And Espinoza came in this game averaging just under 250 passing yards a game, already 269 yards in this first half, along with 4 passing touchdowns.
And here we go with the kickoff for the Panthers. He sends it deep. This is going to be Devontae Johnson who lets it bounce into the end zone for Laverne.
I think if you're Laverne, you don't have any timeouts, just over 30 seconds remaining. I think you just need this ball out, get into the half, talk about the adjustments you need to have. We've seen some flashes. They've gotten a couple stops. They almost got that pick on Nathaniel Espinoza. But you don't want to force the issue right here and maybe possibly throw yet another interception. So I think they play it very conservative here.
Definitely, but let's see. They are in shotgun formation here, but it is pistol formation like we have seen so much from Laverne in this game. And it's going to be a simple handoff there. That is Corletto, it looks like. Corletto doesn't get a huge gain there, but it looks like they're just going to, well, of course, Laverne has to keep the clock running as they have no timeouts left.
Play clock is off, though. They may just take this one into the half, maybe run one more play.
Based on the body language here, it looks like they will let this go into the second half. So, to conclude this half so far, we have your Chapman Panthers 42, the Laverne Leopards 13. It's been quite an interesting half. Okay, and now as the teams go into tunnel for halftime, it's been an interesting first half. What have you seen from both sides?
Well, Chapman's played as perfect as they can. They really haven't shown any signs of weaknesses in all facets of the game. Defense, offense, and special teams. They're really winning the field position battle. They're winning the battle in the trenches. It's been an all-out show for Chapman tonight.
All right, and now we will head down to the sideline to Isabella Capri, who is going to be able to give us an interview with the Chapman players.
You're good, you're good. Hey everyone, I'm here with Marcos Reyes. He scored one of the touchdowns for Chapman. Looking into the second half, what's working well for Chapman's offense?
Obviously the run. We have the best O-lineman and the Skyak. Nate's pretty good too in the passing, best receiver, so everything looks good on the offensive side. So we're going to keep pounding the ball, running the ball, every running back. At least a touchdown for us. Receivers too. We need like 2 more, and then yeah.
You guys are looking good. Thank you so much, Marcos. Yeah, you're good. Awesome. Okay, looking ahead, we also have some injury updates that I wanted to share with all of you. Number 82, Nick Tawney, we saw earlier in the game, he did go down kind of hard. He is currently being treated by medical staff to work on a lower body strain. We will keep you all updated on what that looks like as the second half moves in. Thank you all. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Isabella, and it sucks to hear that about Nick Tawney right there. He's been a great player on the special teams for Chapman, so you just hate to see something like that happen.
Yeah, for sure. We hope the best for him, and if he's able to come back in this game or, get that injury right for him.
Yes, definitely in the future here. It has been quite an interesting first half, so we will go over some first half highlights here for the Chapman Panthers. Now, there's been a lot to show for the Chapman Panthers on all sides of the ball, but especially on the offensive side. But now we go down to the field as our cheerleaders give a halftime performance. And here are the highlights now.
This is the first play of the game here. A deep 80-yard reception. Spencer Corona beats his man upfield for the touchdown. Great start for the game for Chapman.
And then here is a good tip pass and an even better interception there for the Panthers defense. And that set them up early in enemy territory.
Yeah, and then just right after that, Tanner Mendoza, that red zone threat for Chapman, took this pass in for a touchdown. Chapman went up 14-0 before you even sat down and got your popcorn for the game.
And just like that, when the Chapman Panthers were up 14-0 so early in this game, I think we were only 13 minutes left into the game here. Again, as we show the play call here, it was a very great design as they had the main running back go into the flats, Tanner Mendoza.
And then on this next play, it was a big break for Laverne. It was right after this touchdown on this muffed kick right here, as you'll see on this replay. It got called back for an inadvertent whistle from a ref, dropped the ball, and it was recovered by the Chapman defense right there. But unfortunate for them.
An inadvertent whistle there led to a big momentum shift, and then a Laverne touchdown there. That's might have been their first of the season, one of their first few touchdown throws of the season there for the Leopards. But then Nathaniel Espinoza on the other end, making things happen with his legs, giving it to Marcos Reyes and letting Reyes do the rest, taking it down inside the 5.
Yeah, this drive, it was all Marcos Reyes, as you heard him talk about running the ball, and you see him taking the rock right here up the middle for the touchdown to keep Chapman, keep the momentum on their side.
And then here we go. We had Espinoza throw a beautiful seam route to Quinton, and Quinton taking it to the house. Now, Nathaniel Espinoza, something to mention is he's thrown a touchdown pass to 4 different receivers, as we see Aguero with a great touchdown pass there.
Yeah, it was the 2 touchdowns for Laverne. They came in back-to-back drives, and you thought momentum may have gone to the Leopard side, but Chapman kept it up on offense on their side. You see Marcos Reyes yet again busting through the gap, getting to the second level for his second touchdown of the game.
And we have one more, Nathaniel Espinoza. Oh, almost a huge momentum shifter there for Laverne, but it leads to an incompletion, and then later in the drive, Nathaniel Espinoza gets it to his 3rd receiver, John Crawl, who takes it to the house on his own.
You really can't allow Chapman to get those second opportunities, the missed tackles, the missed interception, and Chapman leads to score, and his offense is really rolling right now.
Yes, and big miscues there just end up hurting the Leopards, who really just want to get right back into this game. It's just really huge to miss those opportunities.
Yeah, so it'll be a big second half comeback needed for the Leopards here. But before that, in this halftime break, we do have a package brought to you by our own Dan Batson, a new series possibility for the Chapman Sports Broadcasting Network that we're very happy to show you right now.
The star wide receiver of the Chapman Panthers, Spencer, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm great. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. It's great to have you here on our first episode here. Spencer, what is it like to play for the Chapman Panthers as a wide receiver here at Chapman?
I mean, it's amazing. It's a great time, electric environment. I love it.
And you know, you're a veteran of this Chapman football team, but there's some new blood on this team as well, especially your star quarterback, Nathaniel Espinoza. What has it been like, you know, training with a new quarterback, trying to find that balance? You know, you're here in this program, but what's the differences here this year?
I mean, the difference is our quarterback, Nate, I mean, he wants to get better. He's a great leader. And, I mean, when he's out on the football field, he's got all the confidence in the world. Yeah,
and you know, as a spectator and one of the commentators for most of your game, I see you working hard every night, but what people don't see is what you're doing off the game field. You know, you're working hard, practices. How much are you guys practicing every day?
It's about 3 hours, Tuesday through Thursday. About an hour of film before that as well. So, you know, it's definitely a grind.
Spencer, thank you so much. Let's get right back into it.
Let's do it.
We're here now on the football field, Wilson Field, here for a great night of action after practice. Spencer Corona joined by the Nate Espinoza. Nate, are you ready for some Dan Does action?
Yeah, let's see how it goes tonight. Hopefully it goes good.
All right, Spencer, let's start it up. What are you going to teach me first?
We're going to start with the 6 to 8 yard out speed cut.
All right, let's see. Let's line up.
You're going to have your inside foot up first. When you're coming out, you're going to be basically take 3 steps, and then off 1 foot, you're going to cut from 6 and fade to 8.
Okay, 6 to 8 like a clock.
Yeah, and I can give you a little example first. So you're just going to go up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Bang.
Woo!
Oh!
Yes! Yes! Come on. Good throw.
All right, this one's gonna be a little harder. It's a deeper route. You're gonna be looking over your shoulder for it.
Harder?
Yeah. You got it, you got it.
Okay.
All right, so what we're gonna do on this one is you're basically going to 8 yards. You're gonna take 1, 2, 3, and then you get the ball.
Hey, he's making it way too easy. Okay, 4 steps, 3 steps up.
Yep.
Okay.
Get to 8.
Here you go.
Perfection. You gotta sell it with your eyes, and then flip your head and go.
Okay.
You got it. Let's
I
go.
gotta sell it.
All day.
I'm a marketer.
That's right.
I can do this. Sell it.
Oh my goodness.
Every night for 3 hours? No way. No way. Whew. This has been Dan Does, Spencer Corona, Nate Espinoza. Thanks so much for helping me out. First episode, how'd I do? Give me a rating, A to D.
Hey, you did a great job. I'm gonna give it A for effort.
Let's go.
Yeah. What do you think?
Hey, that was great. First time, you know, it only took you a couple tries. Got a touchdown on the night.
I'm glad we got your cardio in tonight.
That's right.
So what's the grade?
I'm giving you A-.
Yes! An A and an A- from our 2 starters, Nate Espinoza, Spencer Corona. Thanks so much for joining in on Dan Does. Tune in next week to see our next episode of Dan Does.
Dan Does. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please stay tuned in as we go through the halftime, but we will be taking a quick break as we transition into the second half.
It's the arrival. I came in the league, went straight for the title. No time to idle. I'm finna get it, put that on a Bible. This is survival. Gotta treat every move like the final. 1 by a mile. Nobody believe it, they all in denial. Look at me, look at me. Still in the show, that's the crook in me. They want me gone with the hook in me. Asking why is he here like I shouldn't be. I've been on grind since Auto. 10,000 hours the motto. They see the bag is coming out and flocking to me like I won the lotto. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Saw they be scheming and said adios. Yeah, I gotta get it. Yeah, it, don't mind it. Ay, back with a vengeance, back on the grinds, back to the business. Ay, God is my witness, they watching my moves like shows they binging. Ay, best keep distance, all of my haters send best of wishes. I get to the bag with the quickness, no I don't need no assistance, no. Yeah, no playing it safe, I said let's get it, you say not today. What can I say, if you ain't gon' go for it, get out the way. Yeah, got no time to waste, can't be with me if you're not at my pace. You're not at my level, you're not in my race. One foot on the gas, I'm pushing the brakes. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they're getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Saw they be scheming and said adios. Yeah, I gotta get it. Yeah, by any means. I gotta get it, don't mind it. I gotta get it, don't mind it. Get it, don't mind it.
And the sun has fully set here in Orange County as we get ready for the second half of football. Your Chapman Panthers lead 42-13 against the Laverne Leopards. Now, what have you seen in this first half that has to be changed for the Leopards?
Well, the Leopards, one of the biggest things, especially on the defensive side, is getting Chapman to more third downs. Chapman only faced 3 third downs this first half, and they converted on 2 of them. So really forcing the issue, make Chapman make those tougher plays on offense.
Definitely, as we get ready for the kickoff here in the second half. It's going to be interesting here to see how Laverne starts off this half. They do need to get positive plays early on. And as worth mentioning, Devontae Johnson, who has been returning the kicks for Laverne, is not back there, but still no difference as they will only get to the 15-yard line. Laverne has been struggling with the return game, and it continues in the second half.
Every time they've decided to return it, they haven't gotten past that 15-yard line. And if you let that ball go, you get to the 25, and it seems like every time they're doing the same thing. Goes to that right back receiver, and he cuts it upfield to the left side. And Chapman's really made the adjustment, getting there quickly. And now Laverne, long way to go.
Laverne, again, having to fight deep within their own territory here. We have Aguero Jr. taking the snap here to start the second half. Pistol formation, Aguero looks to pass. He decides to run. Aguero gets about a gain of 11 there and a first down and a positive play to start the drive for the Leopards.
Yeah, really good play, really good composure from Miguel Aguero. You had K. Jordan coming off the edge, got like flipped in the air, almost got to Aguero, and while he was scrambling out, really good fake pass right there to get Alex Tariquez to commit to a receiver. Was able to get the first down.
Definitely there as the Leopards huddle up and break the huddle. It looks like they have pistol formation again, as we've seen 2 receivers on each side here. Chapman Panthers 1 high safety as they motion the running back like they've done so many times before. Breaking it up, that is K. Jordan, as we've mentioned before on the last play, this time getting there to disrupt the backfield.
You really see that energy he brings, busting off the sides of the defense right there. No way to stop him as he cuts between each tackle, slams the running back into the ground. They really line him up. We've seen him even lined up in coverage today. He's more of a rushing outside linebacker, as you see on that play. Definitely. Right there.
He has been everywhere on the field tonight, and he always brings that energy to the defense. Sometimes a little bit too much, as we've seen early on, but that time it pays off for the Chapman Panthers. Here we go with 2nd and long here, and they faced this plenty of times in the game for the Leopards. They motion a man to the left. It looks like trips. Zone defense here, but getting to the quarterback there. That is a sack for the Panthers. Number 57.
Yeah, that's Alfonso Barmore Jr. right there. Back-to-back negative yardage plays for Laverne. Chapman defense picking up right where they left off last half right now. And 3rd and very long here for the Leopards. Let's see if Chapman continues to bring that pressure yet again.
And 3rd and long has been the story of this Laverne offense, having to fight through adversity on 3rd downs here. They are 4 for 9 so far in the game, so let's see what they do here. 3rd and extremely long for the Leopards. He takes a deep shot. Good, oh my God, a good throw there, and they get the first down. A back shoulder throw.
That's to Spencer Poole right there. We called his name a couple times. Had their longest reception of 36 yards, but nothing after that. And that was a big 3rd down, almost 20-yard 3rd down right there for the Leopards that they convert with ease.
And despite the Leopards' struggles, they have succeeded in the deep passing game. They've been able to expose that cover 3 zone on many occasions tonight. Aguero Jr. does it again there. Here we go, pistol formation. They motion the receiver to the right. That's 3 receivers now over to the right as well. K. Jordan gets to the quarterback and sacks him. K. Jordan making an impact early in this second half.
Once again, Jordan getting to the quarterback quickly. Looked like a miscommunication once again on the assignment right there. Comes in unblocked. You see also Joshua Williams almost got there as well. An 11-yard sack right there. And you see that energy.
K. Jordan shooting in there like a speeding bullet train, getting into the backfield and stopping Aguero from having any chance to extend that play. Here we go, 2nd and long again. The Leopards having to fight through adversity. Motion again, making it trips to the right. We've seen this run play before, up the middle, and it's about a gain of 4 yards there. That looks to be Cueva right there with the run. We've seen that formation before where they motion the receiver to the right and then run it to the left, hoping to pull those linebackers over to the right side.
And the first time they ran that, Chapman really snuffed it out. They read that play really well. That one not as well. Gives them a 3rd and somewhat manageable, being 16 yards, better than the 21-yard deficit they had to come back from. But let's see if Chapman brings more pressure.
We've seen Chapman convert a 3rd and 16 on this drive already. Can they do it again here? This is Aguero dropping back in the pocket, firing over the middle, and he does again. Aguero with a good throw over the middle to who else? Spencer Poole for the 1st down.
And if you're Chapman, cannot let that happen. Back-to-back 3rd and very long. Going to the same receiver, you got to think they're going to start double teaming him, especially in those 3rd and long situations. See Joshua Williams, though, coming back on the field, trying to get more pressure there. And like you mentioned, those cover 3 for Chapman, that's really being exposed. It's really been only cover 3 defense here.
Definitely, and right now, Aguero is in rhythm. Here we go with 1st down at about their 48-yard line. Aguero takes a snap, fakes it. It's a pitch here. Oh, a muffle. Oh, good recovery there, though, and a flag on the play as well. We have to see how this is going to affect.
Looks like the offense moving back.
Illegal substitution.
Illegal substitution.
5-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
Costly mistake there for Laverne, but it doesn't really have a huge impact because in the end that play was still a negative impact. It's going to make it 1st down again, though, for Laverne, a chance to hopefully have something more positive on this 1st down play.
Yeah, it looked like they were going with a triple option right there. It was just a muff on the pitch right there. I haven't seen Laverne run that so far this game. It's been Chapman running those option plays, and Laverne pulling one out of their bag tonight.
We've been talking about the miscues for Laverne. Another one there hurts them on 1st down. Great block he gets, and an even better throw. This is 14 on the run, and he is stopped. Good tackle there by the safety. That is Ethan Madernos, though, in the seams with the good catch.
And once again, exposing that cover 3 defense. When defenses run that, it's those seams in between the numbers that are open. You have two high linebackers just guarding the middle, and he got behind them, and a perfect feed from Aguero over the linebackers.
And that's the risk you run when you go cover 3 is those seams, and that is just a perfect throw by Aguero. Could not have been any better. Here we go with 1st down in Chapman territory at about their 29-yard line. Quick throw here. Decide to feed Madernos again, and he will get a short gain, actually probably of about 5 to 6 there.
Yeah, that's something you want to see Laverne run more often. If Chapman continues going to cover 3, the cornerbacks on those wide receivers, they're going to be covering those outer half deep 3rds where you're not going to have a flat route from a cornerback there, and they expose that right there.
Big time, and the threats of the seam as well have opened up the short passing game for Laverne. Here we go with 2nd down, my apologies, and a stop again. The run defense can't get anywhere. That is Alex Tariquez in the backfield for another tackle for a loss.
Yeah, Tariquez really busted through that A-gap right there. They went with a man blitz, got through that offensive line. Another tackle for loss right there for Chapman. They've just been eating up those TFLs this drive.
Tariquez, again, as we said, a huge run stopper for this Chapman defense and making an impact there. And just when Laverne had a chance of getting 3rd and short, they are now facing 3rd and 7. So 3rd and fairly long here for the Leopards.
They have converted 2 3rd and very long, so for them, this isn't anything different. But
oh, and an early timeout here, it looks like, for the Leopards. You don't want to waste those when you're trying to mount a comeback.
Timeout, Laverne.
Yeah, that play clock was really getting low. That was down to 2. Once again, going back to the miscues, You know, it is decently early in the season, just the third game for Laverne, but you really got to hammer those into shape because you get into conference play next week, you can't have those miscues happen time in and time out.
Definitely here, and just a huge costly mistake there as Laverne has to waste another timeout on a crucial drive here, a tone setter for what could be the second half.
And it's been a long mounted drive, already 7.5 minutes taken off the time. We're just about 7.5 minutes left, as you see head coach Christopher Critch right there, looking a little upset with his squad tonight, having to deal with a lot of adversity, going down early, the first play of the game. And if you're Bob Owens, you can't be much happier with this squad that what kind of show they've put out tonight.
Yes, and you're hoping right now that maybe the Panthers can force another turnover. They had that one early in the game, but have yet to get another one since.
And that's been the big issue for them. That was only their second turnover forced this season.
And here we go with 3rd and 7 here. Draws back in the pocket, has one-on-one coverage, and he just overthrows the receiver. And that will be 4th down for the Leopards as we have a man down on the field.
That's Aguero right there. He took an absolute shot from 2 Chapman defenders on his blind side right there. Hopefully he's okay, but it was Alex Tariquez that came down, shaded down off the edge. Don't see him blitz too often. And he really laid the hammer down on Aguero, and he is slow to get up.
Tariquez's impact is still being shown here in this second half. You have to hope that Aguero is okay. This kid has played with great toughness this game, throwing 2 touchdown passes, and really has a great completion percentage, 8 for 12 so far. He's been very efficient for the most part.
Yeah, it's just been a matter of how much time he's getting. That offensive line, like we mentioned, 9 sacks coming into this game allowed by that offensive line, 7 of which came in one game to Willamette. And they're not helping them out too much, especially this drive. It hasn't had a lot of time. You see the team going out to greet Aguero, trying to get their number 1 back on his feet.
As they show support for their number 1 QB here and help him off the field. Laverne also huddles up there. All the players have cleared the bench, huddling up on the field, hoping to get a little bit of motivation.
Yeah, they're probably telling him, like, hey, he may not come back to this game. Let me see the fight you got left in him. And we saw Noah Coronado play 1 drive for Laverne. It wasn't a horrible drive. He went 2 of 5 for 25 yards. See if that's who they trot out.
It actually, oh, it looks like they will be going for a field goal here. So Laverne taking the points here. Let's see here if Laverne can get this through the uprights.
This is Kapina Kamakawiwule.
And Kapina is wide left. So miscues end up hurting Laverne, and they make this long drive here. Good time of possession, but with no points.
Yeah, it's been a tough night for special teams for Laverne, remembering that dropped kickoff they had. Luckily, it didn't cost them at all, but we've already seen a missed extra point, and right there, missed field goal that frankly didn't have too much of a chance. Let's see how Chapman can take advantage of that, keep extending this lead. They really want a statement win.
Yes, and it's interesting to note, it looks like Nathaniel Espinoza will not be in for this drive. They are taking him out. They want to rest him. And obviously, with a lead like this, they don't want to risk injury.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to get that injury, and you want to give more players a shot with this huge lead. That's going to be their backup, Jack Alexander.
And Alexander takes the snap here. Already a bit of a muffle. Alexander tries to improvise, but he is sacked.
Miscues right there, possible read option, but luckily for Chapman, you got that ball back. But if you're Alexander right there, you want to fall on that ball. He tried to pick it up and get a couple extra yards. You don't want to do that because it's much harder to pick up a ball while it's moving than to simply just fall on it.
Can't take those extra hits there at the quarterback position. Here we go. It looks like Alexander is getting the play here. He has Tanner Mendoza to his left as well. So Chapman's leading back is still in the game as well to help him out.
Alexander didn't get too many snaps last year, was behind 2 quarterbacks in Reed Vettel and Johnston McIntyre.
Alexander takes the snap, read option. This time Alexander keeps it and gets a minimal gain there. gets it pretty much right back to the line of scrimmage, possibly a gain of 1 as well, so it will make it 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Mendoza visibly upset with that one. He had the hole on that, and he was yelling at his sideline to give him the rock on that one. He had the hole right there. Laverne was biting on Alexander taking that, but instead, Alexander kept it himself, and now it's a 3rd and long.
Let's see what Alexander has in him here in 3rd and long. The Chapman Panthers have been very successful on 3rd down, though they haven't faced it much this game. Let's see what Alexander does here. It's a screen pass, and it is dropped. So a quick 3 and out here for the Panthers, as it looks like they bring out the special teams. So they're kind of missing Espinoza there on that drive. Bit miscues there. Had some of the backups in. Just had to get those jitters out for their first drive of the game.
And you see on that throw, Alexander didn't have a lot of oomph on that throw. Kind of sallied that ball, trying to force it there and aim it. Really not throwing it through the receiver. And unable to corral that, and it's a quick 3 and out like you mentioned. Only the 2nd punt for Chapman.
And on those screen passes, you do got to get the ball there quickly. You want to give your receiver enough time to be able to return it.
What a punt.
What a punt there, and a great stop by the Panthers special teams as they get it down to Laverne's 20.
He absolutely flipped the field on that one. Punted from his own 22, got it to Laverne's 20 right there. Big leg right there in Owen Tapia.
Tapia right there with the punt.
Tapia punts for 58 yards.
58 yards on the punt there. Now here we go. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out there for the Leopards. And Coronado is out there, so it looks like Aguero is still not okay to come back in after taking that big hit. Hope everything's okay with him.
And, you know, down almost 30 points. You may just sit him for the game, rest him up, getting ready for the scene.
Miscommunication there, but Coronado still takes it and runs for it. Good way to improvise despite a little bit of a miscommunication there by the running backs.
Yeah, broken play on that one right there. But like you said, great improvisation from Noah Coronado to get positive yardage. Got 3 yards right there.
Definitely. Let's see what Coronado's doing. This is a chance for him to showcase his abilities to the Laverne team, who obviously gave him a chance early in this game to engineer a drive himself. So let's see if we can make a quarterback competition over here in Laverne. Coronado with the handoff there. That is Corletto with the run. Corletto gets close to the 1st down, but would be just short, making it 3rd and 9 there.
Yeah, Corletto's been the hot hand tonight. It hasn't been Kyle Bandy, who just has 8 yards in 7 attempts. Corletto, on the other hand, now with 34 yards in just 7 attempts.
Yes, Corletto right now has been the main back for Laverne, the one with the hot hand. Let's see if they go to him here on 3rd down. Looks like we have Wildcat formation here. This is Corletto here. We've seen him take the direct snap before. He'll do it again, and he'll get the 1st down. That is Corletto there with the run for a gain of 5 yards and a 1st down for the Leopards.
Yeah, great execution on that play. Offensive line moved to the right spots. They were thinking option out for Corletto, but he picked the hole, ran through it, knew he only needed a yard or two. And that's a Laverne 1st down.
And this has been a quick quarter here in the 3rd quarter, as it looks like even on 1st downs, they continue to let the clock run. It looks like we've gone to a bit of a running clock here in the situation with Chapman being up 42-13. Here we go. This is Coronado taking the snap. Coronado drops back in the pocket, sees no one there, improvises, and tries to get the catch, but then there's a flag down even after the great pass disruption there by the Chapman Panthers.
That's defensive back Kyle Sieben right there. Interesting to see what they say the call is. I would not think it'd be a late hit out of bounds since the receiver's feet never came down.
Pass interference, offense.
Oh, and it's an offensive pass interference there. That is Vital Afoa right there with the offensive pass interference, and that again, Laverne having to face adversity again with these long downs.
You see he had to improvise a little push-up from Vital to get open. Didn't have too much contact, but refs, all they want to see is that extended arm to create separation. That's an easy flag thrown right there. Once again, a miscue for the Leopards. Now it's a 1st and 25 yards.
What do you do on this down?
I think you go back to the run. It's been a pretty good part of their game so far in this drive.
So here we go, 1st down. They decide to pass it here. Tries to fit it into the seam and cannot, almost intercepted there. And again, that is Kyle Sieben again making a pass disruption. He is being everywhere so far on this drive.
Yeah, you said it. Really good defense right there from Sieben. Ball just goes right through his hands for the freshman. Unable, you saw visibly frustrated with that. It'll still be a 2nd and very long for Laverne.
Kyle Sieben from Burlingame, California, 6'2", 195. Great height for a DB as we see the replay here. Try to fit in the seam, but Sieben just great pass disruption and showing great athleticism there on that play as well.
Yeah, and even though he didn't touch it, he disrupted the vision for the receiver.
Here we go. Oh, he threw it to Sieben again, but Sieben gets tripped up, and that will be a good gain there on 2nd down. cuts it to still 3rd and long, but a positive play there for Laverne.
Yeah, they're really attacking the freshman in this drive. Back-to-back-to-back passes towards him, and that one almost could have made another good play, but just slipped up on this turf. Went right back to Vital Afoa. Like you said, 3rd and 16, very long, obvious passing down for the Leopards.
Yes, that passing down, getting it from 2nd and 25 to 3rd and 16. Now let's see what they do here. Steps up in the pocket, has open space now, has to look for a receiver, decides to keep it himself, puts his shoulder down. Great aggressiveness there. Coronado with the shoulder, but it will not lead to a 1st down as it was 3rd and extremely long. But now we're in an interesting situation. Laverne seems to be thinking about going for it here.
Yeah, and on that play,
but they do not.
In that play, it kind of showed the inexperience of Noah Coronado. He did a good job escaping the pocket, not getting too flustered. But as he was going out, he didn't keep his eyes upfield. He had Vital Afoe beat his man, went a little wheel route to
Afoa right
adapt.
there with some great improvisation there on the scramble play, but just could not be found open. This is a good punt here as it sends it down to Chapman's 10, and it's going to be returned here and taken out of bounds at around the 23-yard line.
We'll get to see if they'll
That's Wyatt Harding with the return.
Get to see if they send out Jack Alexander for yet another drive or if they'll keep Espinoza, get him back in the game.
We have 1:43 here left in this 3rd quarter. This quarter has gone by extremely quick. It's not too many touchdowns, not too many turnovers, nothing that stopped the clock. It's just been long drives, but no touchdowns either for either side.
Looks like it is Jack Alexander back in the game, trying to get him more reps.
Alexander with the handoff there. That is Tanner Mendoza. Tanner Mendoza fights for a couple yards. Gets about 3 there. It will make it 2nd and 7.
Yeah, if you're Chapman right now, just trying to run this clock out. You got that big lead. You trust your defense isn't going to squander this one. And so you're just trying to keep the clock moving, keep the chains moving, and get out of Wilson Field with a win.
Here we go. Alexander is getting the play here for 2nd down. Tanner Mendoza still in the backfield here. Alexander sends a man in motion. Handoff again to Tanner Mendoza. Tanner Mendoza has a lane. Mendoza cuts through the middle, and Mendoza gets to the 45-yard line of the Leopards, or of Chapman.
Really just shows the patience and the experience of Tanner Mendoza. Doesn't get too worried, looks for his holes, trusts his blockers, and once a slight hole opens up, he busts through that really fast. And he got to that 2nd level really quickly. There's a lot of shiftiness in the senior.
And Tanner Mendoza, who hasn't had as big of a game as we've seen him have in other previous games this season, gets his first big run there of the game. And now we have Marcos Reyes, who's been everywhere tonight. Get the ball. Marcos Reyes up the middle. Bounces it to the outside, and Marcos Reyes has a lead blocker now. Alexander puts in a block. Marcos Reyes down to the 11. Check out Alexander, the quarterback, lead blocking there for the Panthers.
That is what you want to see out of your quarterback. He doesn't care that he's not part of play. He sprints down there, as you see. He gets to that second level. He lays down the boom on his defender, opens up the hole for Marcos Reyes, and Alexander even got up to flex on his guy right there.
You love to see that there from your quarterback, the willingness to put his body on the line to help out his teammates. Great leadership shown there by Alexander.
They may just run this clock out. It hasn't started yet. A little miscue with the officials trying to get everyone down there in time after such a large gain.
And again, we have to mention Marcos Reyes has been having an incredible game so far, rushing and receiving. 2 touchdowns already in this one, and they're going to let the clock run, and we're going to go to the fourth quarter. The Chapman Panthers still lead 42-13 with the ball in Laverne's 12 when we come back to the fourth quarter here. Now, what have you seen in this third quarter?
I thought it was a very smart third quarter from Chapman. They're not trying to push the ball downfield. They're not trying to run up the score. Even though I did say they need that statement win, you got to play it smart. Taking out Nathaniel Espinoza was the right call, okay? You don't need to get his stats as high as you want him. You want him to be healthy. Remember, coming back, a little banged up ankle, but Chapman's offense, they look good right now. They look ready for SCIAC play come next week.
All right, and here we go. Teams huddling up. They put up the 4s earlier, representing that we're getting to the fourth quarter. And here we go, something to expect here in this fourth quarter. Again, it's going to be a running clock here, so we expect this quarter to go by very quick, but you just want to see some positive plays for Laverne. They already had their starting quarterback go down with a big hit. We just want to see them get something positive here in this quarter. And then for Chapman, this is an opportunity for them to test out their freshmen, for a chance to check out their bench, see what kind of depth they have, and really just how talented this offense is in its entirety.
Yeah, and you know, the best ability is availability. You want your starters fresh and healthy as you go down this season. Football, a very physical sport every game. These guys are putting their bodies on the line for 3+ hours. You got to keep them fresh and ready for the entire 10, 11, 12 game season.
And here we go with first down here inside Laverne territory. Alexander gives it to Marcos Reyes again. Reyes bounces up the middle, and Reyes will go in for the touchdown. Marcos Reyes, his 3rd touchdown now in this one.
Yeah, he's really showing off in this second half right here. It has been the Marcos Reyes show ever since about that second quarter mark. Looks like we're going to have a flag possibly on that one. They're going to call this one back. A late flag right there seen. So Chapman is going to have to redo the down. Looks like they're going to call holding on the offensive line.
Takes away a huge touchdown, what could have been Marcos Reyes' 3rd touchdown there in that game. But Chapman Panthers have faced adversity before on the offensive side, and we've seen them fight through it. Let's see if they try to get the ball back to Marcos Reyes here on 3rd and long, or if they try to pass it here with Alexander. And we have Marcos Reyes, 2 Alexanders left here. We have 3 wide receivers to the right, motions 1 to the left. Now it's 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Alexander will throw, rolls out. Bit of a flood concept there as he gets it to his tight end out of bounds. Great play design there.
Yeah, for sure. Getting Jack Alexander a couple reps in the throwing department again. And a simple concept, reading the cornerbacks, which level they take. They take the deep corner. You got the little short out route right there to Bible.
No, that was Nate Crotwad there with the catch, number 86 for the Panthers. Here we go, Alexander hands the ball off. This is Mendoza, or this is Marcos Reyes, my apologies. Reyes with a solid gain there on second down, making it 3rd and short.
Marcos Reyes takes the handoff.
Marcos Reyes has been the every down back so far for the Panthers. Let's see what they do here on 3rd down. Alexander is getting the play from the sidelines here.
Yeah, they're just trying to take this clock down as much as they can. Yeah, they're okay just kicking a field goal here. They just want to milk this clock.
Here's Alexander motioning a guy to the left. They're going to give it to Reyes again. Reyes with a nice little cutback. Reyes up the middle, and that one will be his 3rd touchdown of the game. Marcos Reyes is on fire.
It's like what they say, Alejandro. Ball does not lie. Marcos Reyes getting that touchdown he deserved before that holding call. It's been the Marcos Reyes show, especially this second half. Got a lot of big chunk plays tonight. You see, once again, the offensive line opening up those big holes, and Reyes slithering past his defenders for the score.
And he has just been hard to bring down as the kick is good for the Chapman Panthers. They have been perfect on PAT attempts, so this will make the Panthers score 49 to the Leopards 13.
7 touchdowns scored for Chapman on the offense. They're clicking on all cylinders. This is the type of ball you need to be playing come conference time. And you got to keep that energy and mojo up throughout this entire season.
Definitely, and a well-balanced attack as well. 4 passing touchdowns from Nathaniel Espinoza, as we mentioned earlier, and 3 from Marcos Reyes on the rushing end as well. So it's just been perfect so far for the Chapman Panthers. You can't ask for anything better. On the other side, for Laverne now, it's about 13 minutes left here in this quarter. What do you do in this situation?
You're really just trying to create momentum for next week and for the coming season. Trying to, like Chapman, getting your other guys some extra reps, seeing what kind of position battles you could have in the coming season.
And here we go with the kickoff here. It's a deep kick, and it'll be out of bounds. Laverne will take it at the 25-yard line.
So smartly not taking that back, because we've seen Chapman's defense on the kickoff. They've been exceptional, not letting a defender or a receiver return it past the 16-yard line tonight.
Definitely, and here we go as Laverne gets the play. Looks like on the field, it looks like Aguero is still out, so it looks like it'll be Coronado here, number 16, for the Leopards. At running back, it's Kyle Bandy, and they go in the pistol formation as they've done all night long. Coronado motions one man to the left and creates trips here. Gives it to Bandy. Bandy has a lane. Bandy up the middle, and Bandy will get a first down for a gain of about 14 yards on that run.
That's Bandy's biggest run of the night. Before that, hadn't gotten more than 4 yards in a carry. That's what he needs. Came in this game as their leading rusher, but has not shown that tonight. For them, it's been Eudine Corletto.
Corletto so far, yes, has been their leading back, the hot hand there for Laverne. As Laverne gets the play call in the huddle, Chapman right now looks to have one high safety, 2 cornerbacks out wide. Looks to be Tritz formation over to the right, pistol as well. Here's the handoff here, and they get it to Bandy again, and Bandy has an open lane. Bandy puts a move on, and Bandy with another good run there for the Leopards, a gain of about 17.
Now once again, Bandy getting into some sort of rhythm here in these last 2 carries. You see another hole created by that offensive line. Puts a move on the safety right here. Like you said, kind of just shucked him to the side. And he's a big man, but he's got some speed.
And this Laverne O-line has begun to find its rhythm a little bit here, especially on the interior end, as these inside runs have been extremely powerful so far in this 4th quarter.
You just got to think it maybe too little, too late for Laverne.
Here comes Coronado, and they're going to hand it off. They're going to give it to the hot hand, Bandy again, and Bandy with a solid run there. A gain of about 5 or 6.
So they're keeping that attack going, keeping that ball down the field, trying to get those chains moving. they're not in too big of a rush, you know, down 36 points with just about 12 minutes to go. Not looking too bright for Laverne, but they're trying to create, as I said, momentum for next week.
Definitely, and right now we have second and looks to be about 4 for the Leopards. We have Bandy still in the backfield here, the workhorse for this drive. They don't pass it to him. They don't run it to him. This time it's a good pass, though, by Coronado. And it will be a first down, a nice, simple little out route. Gets them a gain of about 5 or 6.
Yeah, Kate Jordan went out, formed up as a whole inside linebacker in the slot right there. We've seen him lined up there a couple times this game, normally that edge rusher, but went there last second, and they went right after him and made a great open field tackle.
And that was also Ethan Medeiros on the Leopard side there with the catch. He's the receiver with another touchdown there, as you saw in the goal line in the second half, or in the second quarter, my apologies. Here we go, pistol formation here, 2 receivers on each side. Coronado, 1 high safety for the Panthers defense. And we have a flag call here.
Prior to the snap.
It looks to be a delay of game.
Offense number 16. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
And Laverne again, a little bit of sloppiness here. That's what always hurts them on these drives, then putting them on these first and long situations. They have to shore up these penalties come next week.
Yeah, they're really not speeding it up this drive, and that one they went a little too slow. They've gone out of their huddle multiple times where it's been about 10, 11 seconds, which doesn't give them a lot of breathing room. Already play clock below 10 seconds.
Here we go, they motion a man. Coronado takes the snap, and he gives it to the hot hand, Kyle Bandy. And Kyle Bandy with a short gain there of about 2.
You could hear that helmet clash from up here in the booth. Him and Alex Tariquez, they went pound for pound right there. A couple of our key players, and Tariquez was able to stuff him up right there.
That'll make it 5 tackles now for Tariquez. Another solid game there from Chapman's main middle linebacker. Here we go with second down, second and long here. Pistol formation again. And they take the snap. Coronado with the quick slant, and it is dropped. A huge drop there that would have got him within about 3rd and manageable there, but great disruption there by the Chapman defense.
Yeah, you could see he was a little afraid of the hit he was about to receive. That's sophomore Micah Williams from Los Angeles, California. It was a really good throw from Coronado, just unable to hang on. As Spencer Poole comes back onto the field, and they're going to take
substitution
out Williams once again.
Spencer Poole has been a big asset on 3rd down here. Let's see if he comes through here. Coronado takes a snap, and he is sacked. What a play by this Panthers defense, and that is number 54, Joey Bustos.
He got through that. He got really quick. Coronado did his best to evade him, but really good wrap-up from Bustos right there to make the sack. Sophomore from Lucerna High School in Hacienda Heights.
Just fit right through the middle there. A great blitz call there by the Panthers, not giving the Leopards any chance to really get a pass down the field.
They've really been feasting this second half on TFLs. They're really getting in that backfield quickly, and they're making those open field tackles, which is huge.
And now we've seen Laverne convert some long 3rd downs, but we haven't seen a long 4th down play. Here we go. It's a rollout. Good step up there in the pocket. He decides to run it, and he won't get any yards. And the whole entire Panthers defense is there for that stop.
Really good job from that Panthers defense holding. It looked like it was a double move post concept from the Leopards right there. Chapman read it well and was able to snuff it out.
Luke Portanuve, Alexander Tariquez, Kate Jordan, notable names there on that play.
Really good job right there from Chapman. Now with 8.5 minutes to go, they're going to try to take off as much as they can from this clock, trying to milk it down to where Laverne doesn't have too much time to run a lot of plays.
And here we go, Alexander in on offense. Now we have Gio Ursino here in at running back, and they do give the ball to Ursino. Ursino with a solid gain there of about 3 yards.
Ursino hasn't gotten as much action tonight, and especially this season, as we saw from him last season. Last season, Chapman gave the ball to all 4 of their running backs pretty equally, but this year, Gio's been more of that special teams specialist, that return man. He's been really great at that. Giving this game, like I mentioned earlier, over 230 yards.
And here we go, the ball to Ursino again, stopped from behind by the Laverne defense. A gain of about 2 there.
So they're trying to keep this
That
clock
was
running.
Austin Marin there with the tackle.
Trying to do their best, Chapman. I bet head coach Bob Owens told them, if you're going to get tackled, stay in bounds. Keep this clock moving. We don't need you to make that big play. We're up 30-plus points, just trying to get out of this game with a win.
And here we go. Oh, a bit of movement there on the line. It looks like the Panthers were looking for something there as they do switch up the play here now. Alexander, handoff to Gio. Gio fights forward. Gio gets the first down and stays in bounds, so he'll keep the clock running here.
Good job from Ursino finding the hole. Lots of shiftiness in his game. Also got a lot of speed as well.
Now here we go. First down inside Laverne territory. Alexander in a pistol formation, it looks like. Takes the snap, and he will hand it off to Gio. Gio so far getting the heavy load of the carries on this drive. Gio fights forward and gets a gain of about 5 yards there.
Very similar play call right there, opposed to the one previous. Once again, trying to keep that clock rolling as Ursino will get a little breather on the sideline.
As the Panthers get the play call here.
2nd and 5 Panthers at the Leopards' 43-yard line.
Notable sub in here. Derek Fuentes is now in at running back. Alexander hands it off to Fuentes, and Fuentes fights forward for a gain of about 3 there.
It's like he was a little bit short right there. Fuentes, the junior from Servite, California, from Servite High School, one of the big powerhouses in the country. Very local guy.
3rd down and 1.
And now we have 3rd and 1 here for the Panthers. They have run the ball on every single play in this drive. You would have to expect the same here on 3rd and 1. Bit of miscommunication here from the Leopards side defensively. And the handoff here is a solid one for a first down. Fuentes again.
And once again, they'll move the chains, and once they get set up, they'll keep the clock rolling here.
And now Fuentes is subbing out, and now we have number 39 for the Panthers, Thomas Johnson, in. So Chapman really digging in deep into the depth chart here, giving every single running back an opportunity. And this run game still unwavered despite the changes that they've had.
You know, this is D3 football. It's not like you have a set number of roster guys you can have. Chapman over 100 players here tonight.
And here's the handoff here. And it'll be stuffed immediately. He probably gets a gain of about 1 yard.
If you're Chapman, the only thing you're concerned with is that clock's still rolling. Is we're going to get yet another substitution onto the field. For 89, Connor Doltzel will come into the game.
And Thomas Johnson there with the first carry.
2nd and 9 at the 35-yard line.
Johnson, 2 Alexanders left. The handoff does go to Johnson, and Johnson will fight forward for a solid gain there of about 4 yards.
You know, in the first half, Chapman
Johnson
only had,
kind of walks out limping there a little bit.
hopefully he's okay, but
that's something you want to see there.
Chapman in that first half just had about 8 minutes, 20 seconds of possession here. This possession right here has almost gone 4 minutes. This sole possession in this 4th quarter. So they're really trying to milk that clock, get it down to 0 as fast as possible.
Definitely, and Fuentes now back in the backfield. Fuentes and Laverne has finally stopped the Chapman Panthers run game as they stuff them there on 3rd down for about no gain at all.
And right now, if I'm Chapman, I think I go for it right here. It's too close to punt, but it's too big of a field goal, I think, as well as number 51, Braden Schlaff, will come out onto the field. Local guy from Anaheim Hills, attended Canyon High School.
Yes, and you give your backups here a chance to work with the situation here, a little 4th and short. These players do need to be ready for anything in case it's next man up in football, as you know. So these situations are good practice here. Alexander takes the snap, rolls out, good play action, gets it to his receiver for the 1st down, down to the 15-yard line. A good throw there to Isaiah Lopez.
Lopez with his first grab of the night, first action he's seen. The freshman from Servite's rival Mater Dei in Santa Ana, California. Really good, really good throw also from Alexander. As you see on this replay, he had number 89, Connor Dolzel, went over that and for the farther and more difficult throw to Isaiah Lopez. So really good touch on the ball, and we'll keep this clock rolling. We're just about 3 minutes to go.
Yes, here we go on 1st down. Alexander now gives it to Fuentes. Or no, this is not Fuentes. This is Thomas back in. Thomas Johnson with a good run there. Thomas looking just fine now back in this game. Looks like his minor little leg injury is just fine.
It looks like he's 100%.
Thomas, 5'10", 185, the sophomore.
So clock's still rolling, 2:40 left.
Let's see what the Panthers do here on 2nd down. Alexander with the snap, and he gives it to Thomas. Thomas fights forward for a good gain there. It'll make it 3rd and short, probably 3rd and, looks to be 3rd and 2.
Looks like that play that Alexander made I would say the wrong decision. You had the edges committing to the running back in Johnson right there, but he, instead of trying to pull that and go around the corner, he handed it off to his running back, still got positive yardage. We'll bring up a 3rd and short here.
Worth mentioning, Alexander with a rushing touchdown this season. This is a quarterback who can run here. Gives it to Fuentes. Fuentes bounces off one tackle, fights off another, and it looks like they won't give it to him. All that effort, all for naught. But still strong fighting there from Fuentes, and it's going to make it 4th and very short. 4th and inches.
Still think they're going to go for this one because worst case, you could take 30 more seconds off, and if you get the 1st down, you could basically need this out. Laverne not calling their timeouts. Chapman doesn't have to snap this play till about a minute remaining in this game.
Worth noting, yes, a minute left here on the clock in the 4th quarter. Alexander takes the snap, gives it to Fuentes. Fuentes is going to fight forward and get the touchdown. Touchdown, Panthers.
Fuentes' first touchdown of the season. Gonna remember that one. Big drive right there for Chapman. Took almost 8 minutes off the clock. And they add on to this enormous lead. And it's been a perfect game here for the Panthers.
Derek Fuentes, 5'9", 180 from Whittier. And that drive was all running game there. Only one pass from Alexander, which did lead to a huge 1st down gain. But what a run there by Fuentes. Great blocking from the O-line as he's able to just shoot up the gap.
So the field goal for Chapman is good, extending their lead to 56-3. 48 seconds left in this game right here.
And something worth mentioning here, this has been a Chapman defense that has struggled, but holding Laverne to 13 points. Hopefully this is something that they can carry on as they go into next week in the homecoming game.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Chapman, what they're going to do with this defense, with this performance, they're going to think about this going into next week once they get in the film room. Of course, there's some miscues that they had that they have to work on both sides of the ball. But for the defense, a team that we mentioned allowing about 30 points, a little over 30 points a game, to only allow 13 points to a conference team. Can't think about anything but positive remarks for his Chapman squad.
Definitely. Now here we go with the kickoff. It's about 1:03 left here in this game. You have to think Laverne will probably not try to run anything here, but we'll see. You never know.
They may try to knee it out. They may, run a couple concepts they need.
And again, another great kickoff as he sends it to the end zone. Oh, a bit of a muffle there, so Laverne does have to return it. And he does. He has an open lane, but there's a flag down as well as he gets it down to about the 29-yard line. Worth mentioning, there is a flag on the ground as well as a Panther down, but he gets picked up immediately. Good sign there.
Yeah, it was Cody Pereza who's on the ground, had a Laverne guy mounted on top of him.
During the return, holding, return team number 87. 10-yard penalty from the spot, first down.
Penalties again have been a big story there as they have hurt Laverne greatly in this one, especially in the second half.
Yeah, it's just been a ton of miscues in this second half, even right there on that muffed punt.
Still was able to turn it into something positive. Got to give credit there. But unfortunately, a penalty hurts them in the end. Now Laverne is definitely pinned back inside their own 10 here. They don't even have Coronado in anymore. You have to think that they're going to just run this clock out. Oh, but then they have a big run like this, and then you never know. A good run there on first down. That is James Henriquez. Henriquez, my apologies. Good run there on first down. Clock's ticking down. It's getting to about 40 seconds left here.
They just need this one out. They have time for one more play, but it may be all said and done after this one here in orange.
Yes, here we go. Pistol formation again. He sends a man in motion. Hopefully has a lead blocker, as it does. Henriquez again. Solid run there, but that will run out the clock. And that'll do it for tonight's matchup. Oh, actually, hold on. Apologies. They are getting one more play off, it looks like. Interesting idea there. Give one more run to Henriquez, and it is stuffed immediately. Great way for the Panthers to end this one. And that'll do it. 56 points for Chapman's team, making the score 56 Panthers, 13 Leopards. And the Chapman Panthers end this one with a huge win here right before conference.
Yeah, you said it, right before conference play. That's the important part. Leading into conference play, you want to have a positive game. And for Chapman, they got exactly that. Basically about a perfect game for them. Offense, defense, special teams. Can't ask for anything better from this Panthers squad, especially on that defensive side. Lots of tackles for loss, lots of sacks, even the tipped interception. I really liked what I saw from this Chapman defense.
Yes, and one thing to mention, of course, is Nathaniel Espinoza. That's a huge part of that Panthers offense, the transfer quarterback, 4 passing touchdowns in the first half there.
And especially also on that offensive side, Marcos Reyes, an amazing game for him tonight. You must have heard us talking about Tanner Mendoza and hyping him up in the pregame show and saying, hey, I want to be that running back #1, and he showed it tonight, both as a receiving back and a running back.
Yes, and you do have to mention what makes this Panthers team so great is the depth that they have on the offensive side, but you also have to mention the defensive side. There's many standout players. What's one that stood out to you?
For sure, it had to be Cade Jordan, especially in that second half. He had about 4 or 5 tackles for loss, I felt like, in almost just one drive. I love the energy Cade brings to this squad. Even though it kind of costed him early in that second quarter on the unnecessary roughness, I really like he's that fire for that Chapman defense, and he's going to be the one. He's got a lot of some good supporting cast members with him, but he, I think, is that X factor for the rest of this season.
When you have a duo like Cade Jordan and Alex Henriquez, this can be a deadly Chapman defense once they start getting things figured out.
And you have those two guys we barely even mentioned tonight. Evan Grieve, who coming in this season was that top-tier defender, filling the shoes of Dylan Keefe, the All-American that left Chapman. We barely even called his name, and this Chapman defense really just stood out tonight.
Definitely. And then again, on the offensive side, you do have to mention the first play, first touchdown for Spencer Corona. Corona there, who wasn't really the #1 option as we've expected this season, came out firing early in this one.
And it was just an all-out brawl for Chapman, really pounding the ball down the throat of the Laverne Leopards, and great team win tonight for them.
Great team win. Doesn't get better than that. And now we are going to toss to the sideline as we have Isabella Capri with our MVP of the game.
Hey everyone, I'm here with quarterback Nathaniel Espinoza. Nathaniel, congratulations, a great game. The offense was dominating tonight. You saw players like Reyes just dominate the field. What was working well offensively with you and your players?
Yeah, definitely. I think we did a good job up front. You know, our guys, we can't move the ball without them. They did great all night. Spencer, Wyatt, and Carl, even Quinn made a lot of big plays tonight. But overall, I think we had a good practice and a great game.
You had a great game. You yourself threw 4 different touchdowns to 4 different receivers with over 200 yards just in the first half. What was that like for you?
Yeah, definitely. It was fun. You know, all those guys, we practiced super hard during the summer, and I think overall it's paying out for us for sure.
How are you feeling going into homecoming next week?
I'm feeling great. I think we have a lot of momentum, and we're ready for league games.
Yeah, we're all ready. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Congratulations once again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much down there.
The Panthers dominated. It was not necessarily a cat fight, if you will, here on the field. That's going to do it for me here. Going back to you guys up there.
Job tonight by Isabella there on the sidelines. Now, Nathaniel Espinoza has definitely made his case for MVP, but actually he was not our MVP tonight. That will go to...
Yeah, our MVP we picked as Marco Reyes tonight. Just had an extraordinary game for Chapman tonight. Let's take a look at some of his highlights from tonight's matchup.
Yes, Marco Reyes affecting not only the rushing game, but the passing game as well, and they made a huge impact. Here we go in the first play. Notable right here, Marcos catches the ball, but then the run after catch, strong, tough run, great elusiveness as he gets it down to the 5-yard line.
He's really bobbing around those defenders like a pinball here, and then they gave the ball to him here because this was his drive. He got the ball in 4 consecutive plays, took it in for the end zone for not 1, but 3 of his touchdowns.
And here's another one right here, right up the grab. Perfect blocking by the Chapman O-line, and Marcos Reyes is able to just coast right into the end zone there.
Yeah, got to the second level quick. Here's another run from Marcos Reyes. Look at the shiftiness in him right there. Getting to that second level, very patient runner all the way towards the end zone right there in the red zone for Laverne.
And it was a great lead block there by Alexander, and then they decide to reward him by getting him the touchdown there. He had one taken away on that drive, but as you stated, the ball don't lie.
Yeah, ball don't lie. He got his touchdown back. The touchdown he deserved for not 1, not 2, but like I said, 3 touchdowns on the ground. But he wasn't just a runner tonight. He was a passer. There's another run play. Look at the shiftiness, shaking off 1 tackle, getting in for his 3rd touchdown of the night. Just an all-out great performance for Marcos Reyes tonight in this big win heading into homecoming next week. Here's another angle of that touchdown right here. But like I said, just an amazing game.
It's something interesting to note here. What to expect from the Chapman Panthers in their next game. Who's going to be the star in that running back spot? So far, there have been many. There's been a plethora of backs who have gotten their time to shine.
Yeah, it's not the same guy every night. It's going to be that next man up mentality. If one guy doesn't have it, who's going to be that big star? Like we mentioned, Bob Owens, he goes with the hot hand at the running back tonight. Even though Tyner Mendoza didn't get a lot of carries, it was the Marcos Reyes show tonight.
Definitely, and we go into next week. It's going to be a big homecoming game. First conference game, too, for the Chapman Panthers, so it's going to be something huge there already.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look forward to, especially for Nathaniel Espinoza. First homecoming game as a Chapman Panther. I want to see how he handles that atmosphere because it's going to be rocking here at Wilson Field.
Definitely, definitely, and we can't wait for that. Hopefully the defense, too, comes through like they had tonight.
And let's take a look at some of the overall game highlights from tonight's big win here at Wilson Field. You see right here at the start of the game, you see Marcos Reyes, that MVP, but Cade Jordan getting in the backfield did many times in tonight's game.
And here we go again with the quarterback pressure. It was there all night long, and they were just able to disrupt him and get Aguero out of rhythm.
Yeah, even took Aguero out of the game after a big hit. There's Cade Jordan. You see the speed from him. That's why they put him out in coverage sometimes. They trust that speed.
And here we go again, another one. Good throw there by Aguero. See, we've seen a couple of those throws that he made there on third down to Spencer Poole. And another huge throw there. Aguero does have to be given credit where credit is due. He played with immense toughness tonight and made really some incredible throws.
Hey, he was under pressure this entire game from the first play of the game. You see right there up the middle on the sack, but he had a lot to deal with, I would say, especially in that third quarter. It was that third quarter that took him out of the game. So,
and
like you said, lots of toughness.
Alexander, too, got a couple throws in. And there was talking about the running back plethora right there. Just every single guy getting a touch, everyone getting a touchdown.
Yeah, I really liked what I saw from that defense like we talked about. I really liked the concepts they did at that line, getting pressure to the quarterback without really having to send a lot of guys. Didn't see too many instances where that pressure came from more than 4 guys. It was normally that normal 4-man blitz from that defensive line.
Definitely, definitely. And now we have to look ahead to next week. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in the season.
It's for sure going to be an amazing game. Don't forget to tune into that one next week. It was just a really fun night tonight.
It was a party in the end zone tonight here as the Chapman Panthers come out with a win against Laverne, and now we get ready for conference play. We want to thank you guys for tuning in with us tonight, and we hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you guys next week as the Chapman Panthers have their first homecoming game and conference opener.